Chapter 1239. Chapter 1239. Chapter 1239 Death. You, hold this puppet back! The evil Dragon Valley Master naturally saw everything that Debo saw. With a low grunt, the evil Dragon Valley Master stomped on the ground and dashed toward the depths of the palace. Evil Dragon Valley Master's perception was extremely strong. He could clearly sense the aura of the Overlord Pill on the short and fat elder. As for whether it was the earth-swallowing Overlord Pill or the heaven-swallowing Overlord Pill, the evil Dragon Valley Master was not very sure. It did not matter if he did not know. The evil Dragon Valley Master had already made up his mind to kill the short and fat old man and snatch the Overlord pellet from him. Damn it! In front of the palace, Debo was so angry that his nose was crooked. Even the evil Dragon Valley Master could not fight against this puppet, let alone him. However, he did not dare to complain because he could not afford to offend the evil Dragon Valley's master. Debo had no choice but to fight the puppet. The more he fought, the more shocked Debo became. He discovered that the puppet's combat strength wasn't very strong. It was just that its body was relatively hard. As long as he didn't fight it head-on, there wouldn't be any problems. Could it be that the evil Dragon Valley Master isn't strong enough? At this moment, Debo thought to himself. In fact, it was no wonder that Debo would have such thoughts. After all, when the evil Dragon Valley Master was fighting against the puppet, he had not been able to suppress it. In fact, he had even been at a disadvantage. On the other hand, he was able to fight evenly with the puppet. Comparing the two, he even had a vague feeling that he could contend against the evil Dragon Valley Master. Let's wait and see. Debo was not an impulsive person. He took a deep breath and began to slowly deal with the puppet, not using his full strength. Shoo! At the same time, the evil Dragon Valley Master had already entered the deepest part of the palace and arrived in front of the short and fat elder. Evil Dragon Valley Master. Quick! Seeing the master of the evil Dragon Valley before him, the short and fat old man opened his mouth and extended his right hand. As you wish. The evil Dragon Valley Master was a ruthless person. He did not give the short and fat elder any chance. He clenched his right fist and punched the old man's chest. Bang! The immense force sent the short and stout old man flying. Poochie! The old man's pupils shrank as he spat out a mouthful of blood. The short and stout old man was terrified. He could never imagine why the evil Dragon Valley Master would attack him as soon as he arrived. Evil Dragon Valley Master, inside the crystal ball, the short and stout old man roared with all his strength. I know what you said in the crystal ball. It's nothing more than you refining the Overlord Pill. But unexpectedly, the puppet attacked, killed Ningyu, and heavily injured you. The evil Dragon Valley Master waved his hand and interrupted the short and fat elder's words. He said calmly, I know all that. However, I'm more interested in the Overlord pellet that you've refined. As for you, go to hell. As he spoke, the evil Dragon Valley Master's body burst forward, and his right foot stomped heavily on the evil Dragon Valley Master's chest. Kacha! Kacha! Several of the old man's ribs were instantly broken. Ningyu! At this moment, the stumpy old man finally reacted. Everything had been calculated by Ningyu. The short and stout old man turned his head and looked at the pale Ningyu. Poochie! This glance caused the short and fat old man to spit out another mouthful of blood. This was because Ningyu's eyes suddenly opened and quietly blinked at him. Die! It was obvious that it was too late for the short and fat old man to react at this moment. The evil Dragon Valley Master was someone who killed without batting an eyelid. He lifted his right foot slightly and stomped heavily on the short and fat old man's heart. Bang! The evil Dragon Valley Master's foot was heavy, and he even used some yuan qi. The short and fat old man was already seriously injured. Now that he was stomped by the evil Dragon Valley Master, he had no chance of survival and died on the spot. Until his death, the short and fat old man could not understand how Ningyu had tampered with the crystal ball. The short and fat old man could only think about these things in hell. After killing the short and fat old man, the evil Dragon Valley Master bent down and searched the short and fat old man's body. After a while, the evil Dragon Valley Master stood up, his expression slightly ugly. This was because he could not find a single hair on the short and fat old man's body, let alone the Overlord elixir and other precious items. What shocked the evil Dragon Valley Master was that he did not feel any soul fluctuation from the short and fat old man's body. Could it be that his soul power has been completely devoured by the puppet outside? The evil Dragon Valley Master frowned slightly and fell into deep thought. The short and fat old man's soul power was at the 9th grade. It did not make sense that it would be devoured so easily. Sha! After a while, the evil Dragon Valley Master moved his feet and walked towards Ningyu. There were only 2 people in the palace. One was the short and fat old man, and the other was Ningyu. Now that the short and fat old man was dead and Ningyu did not look any better, he did not even have any breath left. It was likely that he had also been killed. The reason why the evil Dragon Valley Master went to Ningyu's side was because he had a suspicious nature and wanted to check on Ningyu. Just because the short and fat old man did not have the Overlord elixir, it did not mean that Ningyu did not have it. The evil Dragon Valley Master's perception was very strong. He noticed that the short and fat old man had looked at Ningyu before he died. Perhaps Ningyu really had the Overlord elixir on him. Closer! Ningyu's perception had been paying attention to the evil Dragon Valley Master. Especially when the evil Dragon Valley Master gradually approached him, he became a little nervous. At such a close distance, Ningyu could already feel the terrifying aura that the evil Dragon Valley Master exuded. A peak late-stage 9th grade human supreme. The evil Dragon Valley Master's cultivation had reached the terrifying peak late-stage 9th grade human supreme. One should know that Debo was only a mid-stage 9th grade human supreme. Even Ningyu did not have absolute confidence against Debo, let alone the evil Dragon Valley Master. I must severely injure the evil Dragon Valley Master. Ningyu was very clear about the severity of the problem. The remaining soul force of the short and fat old man was surging back and forth in his body, as if it was about to burst out. In order to severely injure the evil Dragon Valley Master with a single strike, Ningyu used all his Yuan Qi and hid it in his sleeves. At the same time, the remaining soul force of the short and fat old man began to move from his body to his sleeves. Ningyu knew that this attack could only succeed and not fail. Suddenly, the evil Dragon Valley Master stopped in his tracks. Frowning, the evil Dragon Valley Master extended his perception and probed Ningyu's body. Not good. Ningyu's expression changed drastically. He quickly concealed his aura and the soul force and Yuan Qi in his sleeves. Maybe I'm overthinking. Shaking his head, the evil Dragon Valley Master continued forward. Ding! When the evil Dragon Valley Master was only 3 steps away from Ningyu, a crisp sound suddenly rang. Ding ding! Following that, 2 more sounds were heard. An elixir cauldron fell from Ningyu's body and slowly rolled toward the evil Dragon Valley Master. This is the elixir cauldron of nothingness. The evil Dragon Valley Master's expression changed from one of caution to one of ecstasy. The elixir cauldron of nothingness was a good item, ranked 30th on the heaven list. Chapter 1240. The first round, something's not right. The evil Dragon Valley Master wasn't a fool. His sharp sense of smell told him that there might be a conspiracy coming his way. Even though the evil Dragon Valley Master smelled something unusual, the elixir cauldron was too tempting for him. He was going to become an alchemist in the future. Once he mastered the elixir cauldron, the success rate of his alchemy would skyrocket. Screw it. After a moment of silence, the evil Dragon Valley Master unleashed his powerful senses, paying close attention to his surroundings. Then, the evil Dragon Valley Master's senses approached the elixir cauldron. No problem. Grabbing the elixir cauldron, the evil Dragon Valley Master could not hide the excitement on his face. Ning, you must have something else on him. The evil Dragon Valley Master was excited. He had not expected Ningyu to have the elixir cauldron on him. Based on his speculation, the stocky elder must have been afraid that the puppets would destroy the items while he was fighting with the puppets. Hence, he had left everything on Ningyu. Who would have thought that Ningyu was so weak that he was killed by the puppets in a single move? He am lucky. With a faint smile, the evil Dragon Valley Master finally relaxed. He moved his feet again and walked toward Ningyu. 3 more steps. Ningyu kept his eyes on the evil Dragon Valley Master. After the elixir cauldron fell from the evil Dragon Valley Master's hand, Ningyu finally relaxed. At the same time, Ningyu's nerves were stretched taut again. If the evil Dragon Valley Master took 3 more steps, he would strike. 1 step, 2 steps. The evil Dragon Valley Master took the first 2 steps quickly. However, the evil Dragon Valley Master only lifted his right foot for the 3rd step. Did he discover something? Ningyu panicked. In order to fight against the evil Dragon Valley Master, he had placed all his attention on the evil Dragon Valley Master. Without Ningyu's control, the evil Dragon Valley Master attacked according to its will. This was why he could fight the evil Dragon Valley Master on par with the evil Dragon Valley Master. Dong! The evil Dragon Valley Master was naturally suspicious. His 3rd kick did not land. This situation lasted for a full 10 minutes. After the evil Dragon Valley Master confirmed that there were no problems, he stomped his right foot heavily. Good chance. Ningyu had been waiting for this moment. As soon as the evil Dragon Valley Master put his right foot down, Ningyu flicked his sleeve and a cold light shot out. Chi-chi. Not only was this cold light fast, but it also contained terrifying soul force fluctuations and yuan qi fluctuations. There was even a great killing weapon hidden within his soul force and yuan qi. 10,000 beasts flame. Ningyu's plan was very simple. First, he would use his soul power and yuan qi to distract the evil Dragon Valley Master. Then he would attack with the 10,000 beasts flame. The plan was well designed, but Ningyu only realized how difficult it was when he put it into practice. Courting death. The evil Dragon Valley Master reacted very quickly. Before the cold light hit him, he took out his flying sword and slashed at the cold light. Whoosh! The evil Dragon Valley Master's sword was extremely powerful. Ningyu's cold light was directly slashed in half. The cold light shattered and split into 2. One of them contained yuan qi, while the other contained soul force. Again, the evil Dragon Valley Master was quick to react and slashed twice. Whoosh! Whoosh! The cold light was once again slashed in half. Of the 4 cold lights, 2 contained yuan qi, 1 contained soul force, and the last contained the 10,000 beasts flame. I don't believe it. Again. The evil Dragon Valley Master was furious. He wielded his royal flying sword and slashed out 4 more sword lights. Evil Dragon Valley Master, your opponent is me. At the critical moment, Ningyu suddenly stood up from the ground and shouted. Ningyu knew very well that the cold light he shot out was very powerful. The only flaw was that its defense was relatively weak. If the evil Dragon Valley Master's sneak attack succeeded, the consequences would be unimaginable. Therefore, at the critical moment, Ningyu took out the red demon sword and rushed out. You're still alive. I'll cripple you. The evil Dragon Valley Master's eyes shone with a terrifying light as he watched Ningyu charge at him. Evil Dragon Valley's Master gave up on the 4 rays of cold light and charged towards Ningyu with a high-grade monarch rank flying sword in his hand. Ningyu held the red demon sword while the evil Dragon Valley Master held the royal superior grade flying sword. In the next instant, the 2 flying swords collided. Ding! A crisp sound rang out. A tearing pain came from the web between his thumb and forefinger, causing Ning Yu's face to turn extremely solemn. The evil Dragon Valley Master's strength was indeed heaven-defying. Ning, you could clearly feel that the evil Dragon Valley Master did not use his full strength in this attack. In fact, the evil Dragon Valley Master had only used 10% of his strength. Just 10% of a peak late-stage grade, 9 supreme strength, was already so powerful. One could imagine how unimaginable the consequences would be if the evil Dragon Valley Master used his full strength. Haha, it seems like I was right not to kill you. The evil Dragon Valley Master laughed and said, "You can injure the short and fat old man and control the puppet. This means that your background is not ordinary. Tell me, where are you from?" After saying that, the evil Dragon Valley Master stared at Ning Yu with interest. He did not take Ning Yu seriously at all. The evil Dragon Valley Master's strength was terrifyingly heaven-defying. The evil Dragon Valley Master had always believed in one thing. In the face of absolute strength, all schemes and plots were useless. Moreover, Ning Yu was only a grade 3 supreme. Ning Yu could not even block 10% of his strength, let alone the evil Dragon Valley Master's full strength. Oh no! However, the evil Dragon Valley Master's calm expression disappeared instantly. He felt his scalp tingle. Swoosh! 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 This was because he could feel 4 rays of cold light swiftly flashing out from behind him, and they were attacking his head at an extremely shocking speed. The evil Dragon Valley Master was shocked. One should know that his perception was terrifyingly strong. These 4 rays of cold light could actually hide from his perception, which really shocked him. Although he was shocked, the evil Dragon Valley Master did not lose his composure. He quickly turned around and slashed out 4 sword lights. Whoosh! Wherever the sword lights passed, the air parted. The 4 sword lights shot towards the cold lights from 4 different directions. Boom! The first sword light directly shattered the Yuan Qi cold light, causing the Yuan Qi to scatter. The second sword light shattered the Yuan Qi cold light as well. The third sword light shattered the soul power cold light. Ha ha ha! Ning Yu, I have overestimated you. The evil Dragon Valley's master laughed wildly at the sky after 3 consecutive sword glows had obtained victory. Is that so? Ning Yu's lips curled up in the face of the evil Dragon Valley Master's mockery. You can keep watching. Keep watching? Watch what? The evil Dragon Valley Master was startled and looked into the air. In the air, the evil Dragon Valley Master's 3rd sword light collided with Ning Yu's 1,000 Beasts Flame cold light. In the blink of an eye, the evil Dragon Valley Master's sword light was engulfed by the 10,000 Beasts Flame. This is impossible. The evil Dragon Valley Master's jaw dropped. Chapter 1241. A heavy blow. Ning Yu, I will grind your bones to dust. Evil Dragon Valley Master quickly regained his composure after the shock. The stronger Ning Yu was, the more excited he was, and the more he wanted to capture Ning Yu alive. In his opinion, Ning Yu must have the Overlord elixir on him. Not only that, the evil Dragon Valley Master also thought that Ning Yu had other treasures on him. Otherwise, with Ning Yu's peak 3rd grade human supreme martial artist cultivation, it was impossible for him to fight with him to this extent. Taking a deep breath, the evil Dragon Valley Master stomped his feet on the ground and charged at Ning Yu. Evil Dragon Valley Master, you might have overlooked something. Seeing the evil Dragon Valley Master's action, Ning Yu's face was emotionless. Ha ha ha! I have indeed neglected one thing, and that is that I should have killed you. The evil Dragon Valley Chief laughed wildly towards the sky. Immediately, his body flashed forward and rushed towards Ning Yu at an extremely shocking speed. Chi! What the evil Dragon Valley Master didn't expect was that the space behind him suddenly split open before he could even take a few steps. Oh no! The evil Dragon Valley Master's senses were extremely sharp. The moment the space cracked, his expression changed, and he quickly turned around. But this time, the evil Dragon Valley Master had miscalculated. Swoosh! A cold light suddenly shot out from the space crack. Under the evil Dragon Valley Master's astonished eyes, the light grew bigger and bigger, and the scorching flames continued to burn. It's the flame of the 10,000 beasts. Even if one had never eaten pork, one would have seen a pig run. Because of the short and fat elder, the evil Dragon Valley Master had some understanding of the flame of the 10,000 beasts. The evil Dragon Valley Master knew the terrifying power of the flame of the 10,000 beasts. At this moment, the evil Dragon Valley Master even felt a little dazed. The flame of the 10,000 beasts was ranked 30th on the Mystic Flame list. It was ridiculously powerful. Damn it! The evil Dragon Valley Master was livid. At such a close distance, even he could not withstand it. But the evil Dragon Valley Master did not intend to give up. He clenched his right fist and clashed with the flame of the 10,000 beasts. Kacha! A crisp sound rang out as a fist fell from evil Dragon Valley's master's wrist. Ah! A hysterical scream came from the mouth of the evil Dragon Valley Master. Beads of sweat appeared on the evil Dragon Valley Master's forehead, and his body was trembling uncontrollably. It was obvious that the evil Dragon Valley Master was severely injured. The 10,000 Beasts flame was a terrifying flame, ranked 30th on the exotic flame list. As long as he was prepared, the evil Dragon Valley Master would not have any problems. The evil Dragon Valley Master naturally had no way of resisting it with brute force. The evil Dragon Valley Master had only lost one fist, but he was still able to withstand the impact of the 10,000 beast flames. This was already a blessing in disguise. Ningyu, you have completely infuriated me. Taking a deep breath, the evil Dragon Valley's master's face grew increasingly cold. He failed miserably in an easy task. Due to his carelessness, his right fist was struck down. It was truly an unexpected failure. If he had known this would happen, the evil Dragon Valley Master would not have done this. He would have killed Ningyu first, and then slowly searched Ningyu's body. It was too late to say anything now. It was an indisputable fact that the evil Dragon Valley Master's right fist had been blasted off. Without his right fist, the evil Dragon Valley Master's battle prowess had dropped by at least 50%. At his peak, Ningyu would not have been able to fight against the evil Dragon Valley Master. He might not even have been able to withstand a single blow. However, in his current state, Ningyu was already qualified to fight the evil Dragon Valley Master. Whether or not I have infuriated you doesn't seem to make much of a difference. Ningyu's expression was indifferent as he said, "If you were at your peak, I would definitely be wary of you. But now, the outcome of the battle is still unknown." Ha ha ha! The evil Dragon Valley Master threw his head back and laughed maniacally. "Even without my right fist, killing you is as easy as killing an ant. Forget it. I had planned to spare your life, but it seems like there is no need for that now." As soon as he finished speaking, the evil Dragon Valley Master stomped on the ground and his body shot forward. The evil Dragon Valley Master's speed was very fast. It did not take him long to appear in front of Ningyu. The evil Dragon Valley Master clenched his left hand into a fist and punched at Ningyu's heart with violent yuan qi. The evil Dragon Valley Master finally understood that when dealing with an enemy, one should not hold back. Even a lion would use its full strength to capture a rabbit, let alone a person like Ningyu. Fight! Facing the fist that contained violent yuan qi, Ningyu's expression was extremely serious. His right hand clenched into a fist and collided with the evil Dragon Valley Master's left fist. Bang! The two fists collided. The result was not unexpected. The evil Dragon Valley Master stood on the spot, his face filled with shock. As for Ningyu, he was sent flying several feet away by the terrifying force and landed heavily at the exit of the hall. This Debo had been fighting with the puppet. While fighting, Debo's eyes moved and happened to see Ningyu appear at his feet. The sudden change caused Debo to be a little stunned. What are you waiting for? Hurry up and capture Ningyu. Just as Debo was slightly stunned, the evil Dragon Valley Master's gloomy voice suddenly rang out. The evil Dragon Valley Master was extremely angry. Ningyu had crippled his right hand. He had to kill Ningyu no matter what, and then trap Ningyu's soul so that he would suffer endless pain. All right. I'll go capture Ningyu now. Debo's eyes flickered. The evil Dragon Valley Master only had 50% of his battle strength left. Debo naturally could not fight against the evil Dragon Valley Master at his peak. He could not even take 3 blows from him. However, Debo was confident that he could silently injure the evil Dragon Valley Master with 50% of his strength. Thinking of this, Debo's mind shook, and he forcefully forced the puppet to retreat, turned around, and charged at Ningyu. Ningyu, I've said that I'll grind your bones and scatter your ashes, so I'll definitely do it. The evil Dragon Valley Master clenched his left hand and said fiercely, Debo, capture Ningyu first and bring him here. The evil Dragon Valley Master was confident. Debo was a middle 9th grade supreme being, only slightly weaker than him. If Debo could not capture Ningyu, he might not have much confidence in doing it himself. Debo, I'll give you a chance to live. Seeing that Debo was about to reach him, Ningyu climbed up from the ground with difficulty and said, You want to give me a chance to live? Debo laughed wildly as if he had heard the funniest joke in the world. He then asked in a puzzled tone, Do you know what you're talking about? I'm very clear about what I'm talking about. As long as you don't attack me and attack the evil Dragon Valley Master, I can spare your life. Ningyu nodded slightly and said, Ningyu, I have to say that you're the most arrogant 3rd grade supreme being I've ever seen. Because of your arrogance, I've decided, at this point, Debo paused for a moment and didn't continue. Chapter 1242. Chapter 1242. Chapter 1242. Join forces. You want to cripple my cultivation and break the tendons in my limbs? Frowning slightly, Ningyu said hesitantly, You only have one chance. Now that it is right in front of you, I wonder if you will cherish it. The opportunity is right in front of me. Suddenly, Debo became a little abnormal. The disdainful look in his eyes instantly disappeared, replaced by a serious expression. Nodding his head, Debo said, If there is an opportunity, I will definitely cherish it. Since you know how to treasure it, please fight with the evil Dragon Valley Master. As long as you can heavily injure the evil Dragon Valley Master, or kill him, I promise to let you leave safely. Ningyu's face was emotionless as he spoke. Ningyu, have you lost your mind? Debo's mouth gaped open, his face filled with disbelief as he said, I did say that an opportunity was placed in front of me, and I said that I would cherish it. The only difference is that the opportunity you spoke of is different from the one I spoke of. The opportunity you speak of is to kill the evil Dragon Valley's master and stand on the same side as you. The opportunity one speak of is to kill you and stand on the same side as the evil Dragon Valley's master. Debo would not clash with the evil Dragon Valley master so quickly. Without absolute certainty, Debo would not fall out with the evil Dragon Valley master. Debo, are you going to fight or not? Debo's 1 second pause enraged the evil Dragon Valley master. He had already asked Debo to capture Ningyu. But who would have thought that Debo would take so long? If it was in the past, he would have killed Debo long ago. How could things end up like this? Attack! Capture Ningyu now. Debo's expression was indifferent. He immediately rushed out towards Ningyu. However, Debo was furious. The evil Dragon Valley master spoke to him in such a manner, clearly not putting him in his eyes. Rather than that, Debo's mind became active. With his own strength, there was no way he could kill the evil Dragon Valley master. He might even be killed by the evil Dragon Valley master. However, If he joined hands with Ningyu, the situation would be completely different. As soon as this thought appeared in Debo's mind, he couldn't get rid of it. Ningyu, let's make a deal. In 1 second, Debo made a shocking decision. Join forces with Ningyu and kill the evil dragon Valley Master. Debo believed that Ningyu would definitely agree. As the saying goes, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Debo did not believe that Ningyu would refuse. The truth was similar to what Debo had guessed. Ningyu's answer was that they could work together, but the benefits would be split equally. Debo didn't say anything and immediately agreed. Benefits? Debo had never thought of giving it to Ningyu. Debo's plan was very simple. He would first join hands with Ningyu to kill the evil Dragon Valley Master, and then kill Ningyu. Rumble. Because they had joined hands, Debo's move was strong on the outside but weak on the inside. On the surface, it looked extremely powerful, but in reality it was very weak. Pucci. Ningyu was very cooperative. Throwing his head back, Ningyu spat out a mouthful of blood. His already pale face became even paler. Ha ha ha. Seeing that Ningyu was seriously injured, the evil Dragon Valley Master threw his head back and laughed wildly. Then he stomped on the ground and dashed out. Ningyu, when I count to 3, we will attack together. Debo's face was serious as he sent a soul message to Ningyu. Ningyu nodded slightly, indicating that he understood. 1. Debo said in a low voice. In this second, the evil Dragon Valley Master moved extremely fast and arrived beside Debo 2. Not good. When Debo uttered the word 2, his face became extremely cold, and he instantly retreated. Debo, how dare you betray me? Today, I will let you know the consequences of betraying me. The reason why Debo had retreated was because the evil Dragon Valley Master had discovered some clues. The evil Dragon Valley Master did not attack Ningyu. Instead, he suddenly stopped in front of Debo and punched at Debo Kacha. At such a close distance, Debo naturally could not block it. With a crisp sound, the evil Dragon Valley Master's terrifying left fist made contact with Debo's chest. Evil Dragon Valley Master, I will kill you. Suppressing the taste of blood in his throat, Debo did not hesitate to burn his Yuan Qi. His aura rapidly rose. 1 second. In just 1 second, Debo's aura had reached the same starting line as the evil Dragon Valley Master. Boom! Debo counterattacked. He blasted out several fist lights in a row, and each fist light attack was terrifyingly powerful. Even though the evil Dragon Valley Master was prepared, he was still badly battered and looked like he could not hold on for much longer. Ningyu, we are partners. Hurry up and attack Debo. At this critical moment, the evil Dragon Valley Master could not care less. He directly exposed Ningyu. What? The evil Dragon Valley Master's revelation was indeed very useful. Debo immediately stopped attacking and looked at Ningyu with a face full of vigilance. He said in a deep voice, How dare you betray me? Sorry, I made an agreement with the evil Dragon Valley Master to kill you first. Ningyu's expression was very indifferent. There was not the slightest trace of emotion. I know you are two-timing, trying to meet the source of both sides. The evil Dragon Valley Master and Debo looked at each other and saw the unnatural expression in each other's eyes. He had been tricked. This time he was tricked miserably. The evil Dragon Valley Master's intestines were green with regret. Ningyu had taken advantage of the suspicion between him and Debo. Otherwise, it would be harder than reaching the sky to succeed. Humph. Ningyu, with your current strength, there is no way you can kill us. The evil Dragon Valley Master quickly calmed down and snorted. If you know what's good for you, surrender now. Otherwise, Debo and I will join hands and take your dog life. That's right, Ningyu. Your strength is not very strong. The evil Dragon Valley Master and I have put aside our differences. If we join hands, killing you will be a piece of cake. Debo added. In terms of anger, Debo was even angrier than the evil Dragon Valley Master. After all, his strength was slightly weaker than the evil Dragon Valley Master. The evil Dragon Valley Master wanted to kill him. Although it would take some effort, it was not impossible. Today, I must kill Ningyu. Debo secretly made up his mind to kill Ningyu. As for the evil Dragon Valley Master, he planned to find an opportunity to kill him. Where there is life, there is hope. Your combined strength is indeed strong, but you have overlooked something. Ningyu said indifferently, just now your punches have caused your combat strength to drop by 30%. In other words, you only have 20% of your combat strength left. At your peak, you can definitely kill me. But with only 20% of your strength left, I can easily kill you. Easily kill us? Debo and the evil Dragon Valley Master said at the same time with their mouths wide open. That's right, it's a piece of cake. Chapter 1243. Chapter 1243. Chapter 1243 have no alternative. What is that? Because Ningyu's soul power was extremely fast, Debo and evil Dragon Valley Master couldn't see through it. Debo and evil Dragon Valley Master were confused. At a time like this, not only was Ningyu not running away, but he was doing these useless things. Dong! In an instant, a deafening voice came from afar. Swoosh! This change caused Debo and the evil Dragon Valley Master's expressions to change drastically. They hurriedly turned around and looked at the gigantic creature in front of them in disbelief. Their mouths were wide open in fear. The one who was the most shocked was Debo. Debo had never imagined that the gigantic puppet would be able to unleash such frightening destructive power. One had to know that when Debo was fighting against that puppet, its fighting prowess was extremely weak. How long had it been? How did that giant puppet's battle prowess become so terrifying? But the current situation didn't allow Debo to think too much. Show! Because the gigantic puppet swung its right arm and swept it towards his head. The puppet's attack was so terrifying that even the air had to give way to it. Debo was very clear that if he was unlucky enough to be hit by the arm of the puppet, even if he didn't die, he would be crippled. Let's fight. Clenching his right hand into a fist, Debo summoned the origin energy in his sea of consciousness and wrapped it around his fist. Go! Debo wanted to fight the puppets to the death, but the evil Dragon Valley Master didn't think so. Ningyu was not a threat, but the puppet's strength was shocking. The evil Dragon Valley Master was not confident that he could defeat the puppet, especially when he saw Debo charging towards the puppet with no regard for his own life. The evil Dragon Valley Master immediately decided to escape first. In order to leave this place as soon as possible, evil Dragon Valley Master exerted all his strength. The evil Dragon Valley Master even burned his life force to increase his speed. In an instant, he rushed out of the ground and rushed toward the capital. Evil Dragon Valley Master, you! Seeing the evil Dragon Valley Master fleeing, Debo gnashed his teeth in anger. He had hoped to join forces with the evil Dragon Valley Master to resist the puppet's powerful attack. But now, it seemed that the evil Dragon Valley Master had abandoned him and fled alone. Ningyu will meet again. Although he was angry, Debo was not a fool. He made a feint with his spear in midair, then followed closely behind the evil Dragon Valley Master and rushed out of the ground. You want to leave? Ningyu had already expected that Debo would try to escape, so he leapt up and landed on the puppet's shoulder. Chase! Ningyu locked onto Debo's aura and controlled the puppet to chase after him. Rumble! As soon as Ningyu and the puppet left the ground, the underground palace suddenly collapsed. Ning, you didn't have time to worry about the collapse of the ground. What he cared about was whether or not he could catch up to Debo and evil Dragon Valley's lord. Judging from the direction that Debo and the evil Dragon Valley Master were fleeing in, their destination was the capital. Putting aside the fact that there were many people in the capital, Ningyu had to kill the Sword of Evil and the others before they reached the capital. There was no room for discussion. Drip! With a solemn expression, Ningyu forced out a drop of blood essence and sent it into the puppet's mind. The drop of blood essence didn't even cause a ripple in the puppet's mind. On the contrary, the puppet became a little irritated. That's right, the stout old man's soul force and the remaining earth-engulfing overlord pellets. Seeing that Debo and the others were getting closer and closer to the capital, Ningyu not only forced out a drop of blood essence and sent it into the puppet's mind, but also the remaining earth-engulfing overlord pellets and the stout old man's excess soul force. The soul force stabilized the puppet's control, and the remaining earth-engulfing overlord pellets and blood essence could increase the puppet's battle prowess. As expected, Ningyu's actions were very effective. The puppet's speed increased again, reaching twice its previous speed. Originally, the distance between the puppet and Debo and the evil Dragon Valley Master was getting farther and farther, but after this, the distance between them was getting closer and closer. Evil Dragon Valley Master, you have to stop and help me, or else you won't have a good ending when I'm killed. Debo shouted at the critical moment. Sha! The evil Dragon Valley Master immediately stopped. Debo, I have a way to stop the puppet. If I'm prepared, I can even severely injure the puppet. The evil Dragon Valley Master's face darkened, as if he was making an important decision. What is it? Debo looked at the evil Dragon Valley Master suspiciously and asked. The way is. The evil Dragon Valley Master hesitated for a moment before a ruthless look appeared on his face, and he said, Leave you here! The evil Dragon Valley Master clenched his left fist and punched at Debo's chest. I knew you would attack me. Debo was very smart. He had long been on guard against the evil Dragon Valley Master. When the evil Dragon Valley Master launched a sneak attack at him, he quickly dodged to the side. Hee, do you think you can dodge it? The evil Dragon Valley Master smiled and took out a crystal ball from his pocket. While Debo was distracted, he immediately threw it. Kaboom! The crystal ball exploded the moment it was thrown. Debo, I will remember your kindness. I will definitely kill Ningyu in the future to avenge you. The evil Dragon Valley Master's voice was getting further and further away. You won't have a good. The crystal ball exploded. Debo's eyes narrowed. Before he could finish cursing, Debo let out a blood-curdling scream. Kaboom! After the scream, Debo's body gradually expanded. When it reached its limit, Debo's body suddenly exploded. Self-destruction. The evil Dragon Valley Master was very cruel. In order to escape, he used the crystal ball to trigger Debo's self-destruction. Debo, who was at his peak, was naturally not affected by the explosion. The strange thing was, Debo only had 20% of his peak strength. In this state, Debo only managed to resist for a second before he completely exploded. Not good. Seeing Debo explode, Ningyu's figure flashed, and he quickly hid behind the puppet. At the same time, Ningyu took out the 10,000 beasts flame and the incorporeal cauldron and wrapped them around his body. Kacha! The first line of defense formed by the 10,000 beasts flame did not do much, and it was quickly destroyed by the explosion. Bang! Although the incorporeal cauldron was ranked 30th on the heaven list, it could not withstand Debo's explosion. After all, Debo was a middle grade 9 supreme martial artist. Kacha! Ningyu's last line of defense was the phantom armor that he was wearing. The phantom armor was a mid-grade monarch rank defensive armor, and its defensive ability was extremely terrifying. Because Debo's explosion had passed through the first few lines of defense, its power had weakened significantly. Therefore, under the protection of the phantom armor, Ningyu did not suffer any serious injuries. Phew! Letting out a long breath, Ningyu's face turned completely cold. After what Debo had done, he was getting further and further away from the evil Dragon Valley Master. At this rate, when the evil Dragon Valley Master arrived at the capital, he would still be halfway there. No, I have to think of a way. Chapter 1244. Jean, too, even though the evil Dragon Valley Master was severely injured, his strength was not to be underestimated. There was only one thought in Ningyu's mind, and that was to catch up to the evil Dragon Valley Master as soon as possible and kill him before he reached the capital. If only the puppet's speed could be doubled. With his current speed, Ningyu had no way of catching up to the evil Dragon Valley Master. But the puppet was different. It was already fast, and if it could double its speed, it could easily catch up to the evil Dragon Valley Master. Chi-chi. At this moment, the white light in the puppet's mind suddenly exploded, and an endless stream of energy flowed through the puppet's body. Whoosh! The sudden change caused Ningyu to reveal a shocked expression. What was wrong with the puppet? Damn it! Cursing under his breath, Ningyu hurriedly started to inspect the puppet. The puppet was the key to defeating the evil Dragon Valley Master. If the puppet was severely injured, there was nothing he could do even if he caught up to the evil Dragon Valley Master. Therefore, he could not allow anything to happen to the puppet. Ka-ka-ka! Just as Ningyu started to inspect the puppet began to change. Its huge body was shrinking at a speed visible to the naked eye. In just a few seconds, the puppet's body had shrunk significantly. Ningyu's mouth was slightly agape, and a look of astonishment could be seen on his face. Not only had the puppet shrunk, but its aura had also been completely revealed. A late-stage, 9th grade Supreme Being. The puppet's aura had reached the terrifying, peak 9th grade Supreme Being. Truth be told, this was the first time Ningyu had felt the puppet's aura, and he was extremely shocked. It seems that my control over the puppet has improved a little. Frowning slightly, Ningyu tried to control the puppet. Master. Just as Ningyu was about to control the puppet, it spoke. You can speak? Ningyu exclaimed. Yes, Master. My name is Jean too, and I will follow your orders. The puppet nodded and said, Kim? Raising his eyebrows, Ningyu asked, How fast is your speed? I mean, compared to just now. Master, my speed is twice as fast as before. Jean too said honestly, Just now my body was huge, so my speed was limited. Now that I've shrunk, my speed is at least twice as fast. Then what are you waiting for? Bring me to the evil Dragon Valley Master. After hearing Jean An's words, Ningyu leaped onto Jean An's shoulder and shouted in a low voice. Although Jean An had shrunk in size, he was still much larger than a normal adult. Standing in front of Jean too, Ningyu looked like a child. Dong! Jean too was very obedient. As soon as Ningyu jumped onto his shoulder, he bent his knees slightly and rushed out. Chi-chi! Jean An was very fast, so fast that it was terrifying. Phantom armor. With such a fast speed, Ningyu couldn't bear it anymore, so he summoned the Phantom armor. The Phantom armor was a mid-grade Emperor-class defensive armor. With its protection, Ningyu's skin temperature dropped a little. Fortunately, the Phantom armor blocked the power of Debo's self-destruction. Otherwise, I would be in danger. Taking a deep breath, Ningyu held Jean An's neck tightly with both hands. At the same time, he unleashed his perception, trying to locate the evil Dragon Valley Master. There was a special smell on the evil Dragon Valley Master's body, which allowed Ningyu to locate him at any time. Of course, as long as the evil Dragon Valley Master was too far away from Ningyu, Ningyu wouldn't be able to locate the evil Dragon Valley Master. Whoosh! At the same time, in a dense forest not far from the capital, a flock of birds seemed to be startled and jumped away from the area. Then a warrior tore through the void and appeared. Fortunately, he didn't come after me. This warrior wasn't very tall, and his body was a little bloated and fat. The evil Dragon Valley Master. This warrior was the evil Dragon Valley Master. After running at full speed for a few hours, the evil Dragon Valley Master stopped in a dense forest not far from the capital. The evil Dragon Valley Master heaved a long sigh of relief. The reason why the evil Dragon Valley Master didn't rush into the capital right away was because he was injured, and the injury was not light. First, he was ambushed by Ningyu, and then he was tricked by Debo. Right now, the evil Dragon Valley Master only had 20% of his peak strength. I need to recover as soon as possible. I need to recover 50% of my strength within an hour at the latest. The evil Dragon Valley Master's face darkened. As long as I can recover 50% of my strength, I can go back and kill Ningyu. The evil Dragon Valley Master was furious to the extreme. In his opinion, everything was because of the short and fat old man. If the short and fat old man hadn't let Ningyu escape, he wouldn't be in such dire straits. Swoosh! With a flick of his wrist, the evil Dragon Valley Master took out a jade bottle. Crack! The evil Dragon Valley Master crushed the jade bottle with his left hand. The jade bottle shattered, and a smooth and round pill appeared in the evil Dragon Valley Master's left hand. In order to kill Ningyu, I have to swallow this pill first. Looking at the smooth pill in his hand, the evil Dragon Valley Master took a deep breath and threw it into his mouth. The pill melted in his mouth, and a terrifying medicinal energy flowed into his body through his throat. Buzz! A terrifying energy wave was running around in the evil Dragon Valley Master's body. Suppress it! The evil Dragon Valley Master sat down and shouted. The shout of the evil Dragon Valley Master was clearly effective. The energy in his body became very quiet and dormant. I only need half an hour to refine all the energy in my body. The evil Dragon Valley Master was very familiar with the situation in his body. Half an hour. He only needed half an hour to refine all the energy and recover 50% of his strength. Drip! Time passed quickly. In the blink of an eye, half an hour had passed. Swoosh! Suddenly, the evil Dragon Valley Master opened his eyes and his aura rose. Crack! 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 The aura that rushed out from the evil Dragon Valley Master was extremely terrifying, and even the surrounding trees were uprooted. Good. Feeling the terrifying energy in his body, the evil Dragon Valley Master could not help but shout, "If Ningyu dares to appear in front of me, I will kill him immediately." The evil Dragon Valley Master was so confident that he could easily kill Ningyu after recovering half of his peak strength. After all, Ningyu was only a peak grade 3 human supreme. The evil Dragon Valley Master was very confident that he could kill him. I will let Ningyu live for a while longer. I will go to the capital of the Great Xia Kingdom and turn it into hell on earth. With a thought, the evil Dragon Valley Lord stood up, stamped his feet on the ground, and dashed forward. Rustle! However, the evil Dragon Valley Master had just taken a few steps when his expression changed. The evil Dragon Valley Master realized that a martial artist had appeared in front of him. The evil Dragon Valley Master was very familiar with this martial artist. Chapter 1245. For who? Ha ha ha! You really can wear out iron shoes in fruitless searching, only to find what you're looking for without even looking for it. I was just about to look for you, but you delivered yourself to my doorstep. The evil Dragon Valley Master was stunned for a moment before he threw his head back and laughed maniacally. Today, I'll let you know the true strength of a late 9th grade human supreme. You've only recovered to 50% of your peak strength. I can still kill you effortlessly. Ningyu shrugged and said indifferently. Although that was what Ningyu said, he didn't think so. How long had it been? The evil Dragon Valley Master had already recovered to 50% of his peak strength. If he was given more time, wouldn't he be able to recover to his peak? Ha ha ha! The evil Dragon Valley Master laughed maniacally again. Ningyu, you want to kill me? Why, if that giant puppet came along, I might be a little afraid. Oh, right, where's that giant puppet? As he spoke, the evil Dragon Valley Master suddenly stopped and looked behind Ningyu. The evil Dragon Valley Master didn't notice the giant puppet behind Ningyu. As for Jin Tu, he was completely ignored by the evil Dragon Valley Master. Could it be that the evil Dragon Valley Master can't sense Jin Tu's aura? Ningyu was puzzled by the evil Dragon Valley Master's actions. In his view, Jin Tu was constantly emitting the aura of a late 9th grade human supreme. The evil Dragon Valley Master's actions clearly showed that he didn't sense the aura fluctuations of the evil Dragon Valley Master. It turned out that Ningyu's guess was right. Only Ningyu could sense Jin Tu's aura. No one else, not even a peak 9th grade human supreme, would be able to sense it. Thinking of this, Ningyu said calmly, "The evil Dragon Valley Master doesn't need the giant puppet to deal with you. He can do it." "Him? Who is he?" The evil Dragon Valley Master was puzzled. He didn't know what Ningyu was planning. "He's the giant puppet's brother, Jin Tuesday," Ningyu explained. "I don't care if he's a golden puppet or a silver puppet. Since he offended me, I'll send him to hell." With a cold shout, the evil Dragon Valley Master dashed out. The evil Dragon Valley Master had only one target, and that was Ningyu. Other than Ningyu, he didn't care about the golden puppet or the silver puppet. Whoosh! Evil Dragon Valley Master didn't take Jin Tu seriously, but it didn't mean that Jin Tu didn't take him seriously. Seeing that the evil Dragon Valley Master was about to make a move, he teleported in front of Ningyu. He nimbly raised his right fist and clashed with the evil Dragon Valley Master's left hand. Kacha! The two fists collided, and an extremely crisp sound rang out. It was so pleasing to the ears. Ah! The evil Dragon Valley Master's hysterical screams followed closely after the crisp sound. Bang! In the blink of an eye, something happened that the evil Dragon Valley Master would regret for the rest of his life. His only remaining left hand had become abnormally twisted at this moment. His entire palm was drooping and lifeless. "I'll kill whoever dares to touch Master." Jin Tu's eyes shone with a terrifying light. He took a step forward and the earth shook. Damn it! With his left hand crippled, the evil Dragon Valley Master wanted to die. He had lost his right hand, and now his left hand was crippled. It could be said that the 50% of his strength that he had just regained had dropped to 20%. The evil Dragon Valley Master knew his own condition very well. With only 20% of his strength left, he was no match for Jin Tu and Ningyu. In fact, Ningyu could defeat or even kill him on his own. "I have to find a way to escape." The evil Dragon Valley Master decided to retreat first. Where there's life, there's hope. The evil Dragon Valley Master opened his mouth and spat out a beam of cold light at Ningyu. Then he stomped on the ground and quickly retreated. "Want to leave? Not so easy." Ningyu took out the red demon sword and cut through the beam of cold light. Then he jumped onto Jin Tu's shoulder and chased after the evil Dragon Valley Master. Having lost his right hand, the evil Dragon Valley Master only had 20% of his peak strength. At this level, his speed was naturally much slower. It didn't take long for Ningyu to catch up to the evil Dragon Valley Master. However, by the time Ningyu caught up to the evil Dragon Valley Master, the evil Dragon Valley Master had already arrived at the capital's gates. "Look, that person's right hand is gone, and his left hand has been crippled. How miserable! Truly miserable. Both his left and right hand are heavily injured, and from what I can see, his strength is not at its peak." The evil Dragon Valley Master's sudden appearance caused a huge uproar in the capital. Everyone pointed at the evil Dragon Valley Master, commenting on his appearance. "Hurry and inform Venerable Spirit Su." Venerable Spirit Su and Dan Guzi had left spies at the capital's gates. When the evil Dragon Valley Master appeared, they all retreated to inform Venerable Spirit Su. "Everyone, leave this place as soon as possible," Ningyu shouted as he looked at the evil Dragon Valley Master hovering in midair and the crowd that had come out from the capital to watch the commotion. "Ningyu?" That person is Ningyu. It's really Ningyu. Wasn't he taken away by a mysterious expert? Why is he here? Ningyu wants us to leave this place. What is his intention? Ah. Before the last martial artist could finish a sentence, he screamed and died on the spot. What's going on? The sudden change caused the surrounding martial artist's expressions to change drastically. It should be known that this martial artist's cultivation base was at the initial manifestation stage. He could even kill an initial manifestation stage martial artist in an instant, let alone these martial artists with lower cultivation bases. Crash. Dispersing in a hubbub. Using the phrase dispersing in a hubbub to describe these people was very appropriate. Want to leave? The evil Dragon Valley Master had not made a move since he arrived. Moreover, the evil Dragon Valley Master's expression became more and more excited as the crowd grew. In an instant, the evil Dragon Valley Master unleashed all his aura. Puff, puff, puff. The highest cultivation base among the crowd was only at the manifestation stage. Although the evil Dragon Valley Master's strength was not at its peak, it was still very easy for him to kill them with his aura. Gene and go. Ningyu's expression was cold as he said in a deep voice. Swoosh. Upon hearing Ningyu's order, Gene leaped into the air and faced the evil Dragon Valley Master. Ningyu, if Gene dares to take a step forward, I will kill one person. The evil Dragon Valley Master's eyes shone with a cold light as he said, I have calculated that Gene is 50 steps away from me. In other words, if Gene dares to come before me, I will kill 50 people. Oh, by the way, let me remind you that I, Gene, am a man of my word. I never go back on my word. Rumble. The evil Dragon Valley Master's words caused a huge uproar among the crowd. The evil Dragon Valley Master could even kill a manifestation stage martial artist in an instant, let alone these martial artists with lower cultivation bases. Ningyu, tell that Gene to stop. Ningyu, don't be rash. We are all from the great Xia Kingdom. You can't leave us in the lurch. What lurch? In my opinion, that person's target is Ningyu. It has nothing to do with us. That's right. As long as Ningyu personally surrenders, all of us can live. Chapter 1246. Snitch. Since ancient times, the bystanders have always had a strange way of thinking. When you are useful to them, they will respect you and even listen to everything you say. However, as long as you showed signs of weakness, they would change sides at the last minute and wantonly humiliate you. The bystanders at the capital's gate belonged to the camp that changed sides. At this point, they wouldn't think too much about it. The evil Dragon Valley Master was powerful and had a grudge against Ningyu. Naturally, they would side with the evil Dragon Valley Master. What do you want? Though Ning, you didn't want to care about these bystanders. He was still a citizen of the Xia Kingdom. After a moment of silence, he decided to stop Gene. Tuesday, ha ha ha. Seeing that Gene too had stopped, the evil Dragon Valley Master threw his head back and laughed. He then said coldly, Ningyu, aren't you arrogant? I don't want anything. I just want to tell you that you can't beat me. Cut the crap. It doesn't work on me. Ningyu said. Okay, I only have one request. The evil Dragon Valley Master extended a finger and said, Hand over your flying sword and armor. I will leave immediately. You want me to hand over my armor and flying sword? Ningyu frowned. That's right. Flying sword and armor. I will give you 1 minute to think about it. The evil Dragon Valley Master said arrogantly. He thought he had a handle on Ningyu. After saying this, the evil Dragon Valley Master's lips curled up as if he had a card up his sleeve. The evil Dragon Valley Master even shot out 2 rays of cold light from his eyes as he dragged the 2 spectators in front of him. The evil Dragon Valley Master's actions were obvious. If Ningyu dared to refuse, he would kill him. Ningyu, what are you waiting for? Hurry up and hand over the flying sword and armor to this person. This is all because of you. You cannot be too selfish. If it wasn't for you, this powerhouse wouldn't have come to the capital and we would be fine. Everything happened because of you. It has nothing to do with us. We are just innocent passers-by. The more the onlookers talked, the more agitated they became. They even wanted Ningyu to surrender and commit suicide. Good, very good, very good. At first, Ningyu felt a little bit of pity. However, as the voices of the onlookers rang out, Ningyu nodded slightly, and his expression gradually became gloomy. Some people were really insatiable. I didn't ask you to come and watch, so why are they still in the capital? Only you onlookers came out to watch? Since you dared to take the risk to come out and watch, then you must be prepared to be killed. In this world, there is no lack of people seeking death. Slowly shaking his head, Ningyu said indifferently, Jean too, what are you waiting for? Yes. Jean An's expression was calm. He instantly rushed out at lightning speed. Damn it. When Evil Dragon Valley's master saw Jean too rushing out, 2 cold beams of light shot out from his eyes, shattering the 2 warriors in front of him. Rumble. 2 warriors died tragically, and the onlookers completely quieted down. It was only now that they understood, whether it was the Evil Dragon Valley's master or Ningyu, they were destined to suffer. Bang! Since both of his hands were crippled, his strength was reduced to only 20% of his peak. Therefore, the Evil Dragon Valley's master was sent flying as soon as he exchanged blows with Jean and was a late-stage, 9th grade supreme martial artist. At his peak, the Evil Dragon Valley's master could easily defeat Jean, but the current Evil Dragon Valley's master was definitely no match for Jean Swoosh. With one successful attack, Jean chased after him. Ningyu, since you're so heartless, don't blame me for being unjust. With a loud roar, the Evil Dragon Valley's master turned and ran. However, the Evil Dragon Valley's master was not running in any other direction, but in the crowd. Boom! The attack of an expert was extremely terrifying. The Evil Dragon Valley's master stomped his right foot heavily on the ground, and a terrifying shockwave spread out in all directions. The onlookers who were closer to the Evil Dragon Valley's master were killed by the shockwave. 40 to 50 onlookers were completely annihilated in just a few seconds. In front of the capital city, there was a mountain of corpses and a sea of blood. It was extremely terrifying. Ningyu, because of your foolish actions, the Evil Dragon Valley's master will now massacre the entire city. An extremely terrifying voice came out of the Evil Dragon Valley's master's mouth, and it echoed in the sky above the capital city. The voice contained a terrifying aura, and all the martial artists in the capital city could hear it clearly. Evil Dragon Valley's master? Who is it? Why does he want to massacre the entire city? Some martial artists were puzzled, and they did not know what exactly had happened. I don't know much about the Evil Dragon Valley's master, but I know about Ningyu. Wasn't he taken away by a mysterious expert a few days ago? A martial artist who knew Ningyu's whereabouts frowned and said, Didn't you hear? The Evil Dragon Valley's master massacred the entire city because of Ningyu. Yes, Ningyu must have offended the Evil Dragon Valley's master, and that's why he wants to massacre the entire city. What should we do? What should we do? The way I see it, we should inform revered spirit, Su, and Dan Guzi as soon as possible. After all, they have a good relationship with Ningyu, and they might be able to stop the Evil Dragon Valley's master from massacring the entire city. Inform revered spirit, Su, as soon as possible. Relatively speaking, the people in the capital city were much more rational than the onlookers outside the capital city. Their first thought was not to hand over Ningyu to the Evil Dragon Valley's master, but to find revered spirit Su and ask for his help. Evil Dragon Valley's master, you are already an arrow at the end of its flight. If I want to kill you, it will be as easy as flipping my palm. As Ningyu controlled Jean, he to approach the evil Dragon Valley's master. He crossed his arms in front of his chest and said, "You can feel it too. Gene, he has the aura of a ninth-grade initial human supreme. With just 20% of your strength, there is no way you can defeat him. I'll give you 1 minute. I want to know the result after 1 minute, or I'll have to send you to hell." Swoosh! Gene, he was very fast, and in the blink of an eye he passed by the evil Dragon Valley's master and arrived at the capital city gates, guarding the evil Dragon Valley's master. "I'm so angry." The evil Dragon Valley's master was furious. Originally, he had said this to Ningyu, but in the end, Ningyu had returned it to him. Rage rose in the evil Dragon Valley's master's mind. He wanted to kill Ningyu immediately, but the evil Dragon Valley's master still had a trace of rationality. He knew that Gene, he was very powerful and could not be defeated. "The only thing I can do now is to find a way to find Ningyu's friends and capture them to threaten Ningyu. Otherwise, I will die." The evil Dragon Valley's master's eyes darted around, trying to think of a solution. "Let me ask you." Suddenly, the evil Dragon Valley's master flew to the side of one of the onlookers and transmitted his voice. "In the capital city, are there any friends of Ningyu or people who are especially close to him?" "There are, but the other party is very powerful." Suppressed by the evil Dragon Valley's master's aura, the onlooker trembled uncontrollably and answered honestly. "Tell me where they are and what their names are." The evil Dragon Valley's master said coldly, "In the imperial family, her name is Lu Wei. Her cultivation is not very high. With your strength, you can easily defeat or even kill her." Chapter 1247 / Lu Wei. The evil Dragon Valley master frowned and muttered to himself when he heard the crowd's words. "Can I leave now?" The crowd asked cautiously. Ugh! However, the crowd had just spoken when he felt a sweetness in his throat and vomited a large mouthful of blood. You! The crowd stared at the evil Dragon Valley master in disbelief. His brows were filled with shock. Before his death, the crowd still did not understand why he would be killed even after telling the evil Dragon Valley Master Ningyu's secret. Trash doesn't deserve to live in this world. The evil Dragon Valley Master's eyes were cold. "I'm killing you for your own good." Hiss! The evil Dragon Valley Master's domineering words caused the martial practitioners hiding in the surroundings to gasp and quickly leave the area. They clearly understood that they would be killed by the evil Dragon Valley Master, even if they stayed. Rather than that, it was better to leave as soon as possible. As for whether the evil Dragon Valley Master would kill Ningyu, it had nothing to do with them. They did not want to care, nor could they care. "Ningyu, do you really think that Gene he can stop me?" The evil Dragon Valley Master revealed a disdainful aura after casually finishing off a crowd. "Entering the capital is as easy as taking something out of my pocket." Crack! In the next moment, a cold glint shot out from the evil Dragon Valley Master's eyes. The cold glint was so powerful that it blasted apart the space in front of the evil Dragon Valley Master as a huge vortex appeared. Swish! The evil Dragon Valley Master's figure flashed and entered the vortex in front of Ningyu. Rumble! Gene, he immediately dashed out when he saw the evil Dragon Valley Master disappear. His right hand clenched into a fist and fiercely punched at the void. A loud sound rang out, and everyone saw a figure being blasted out of the void. Bang! 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 Gene, he did not stop after his attack succeeded. Instead, he quickly moved and arrived in front of the evil Dragon Valley Master. He clenched his fists and swung them repeatedly. Gene He's attacks were extremely fast, and every punch landed on the evil Dragon Valley Master's chest. After a few punches, the evil Dragon Valley Master's chest was already a bloody mess. Even his aura was rapidly declining. "Ningyu, you will die a horrible death." The evil Dragon Valley Master was furious. He had never been in such a sorry state before. Ever since he met Ningyu, His bad luck had been coming one after another without a break. Now he was dragged out of the void by Gene Tuesday Gene 2's iron-like fist smashed into his chest repeatedly, causing his aura to plummet to rock bottom. Whether or not I die a horrible death has nothing to do with you. Shrugging his shoulders, Ningyu flew towards the evil Dragon Valley Master and spoke indifferently. State your identity and why you are hiding in the Great Xia Kingdom. You want to know? In your next life, Evil Dragon Valley's master said fiercely, even if I die, I won't tell you. Hee. Some things are not up to you to decide. With a smile, Ningyu held the red demon sword in his hand and stabbed at the Evil Dragon Valley master's heart. The power of Ningyu's sword was so heaven-defying that in order to kill the Evil Dragon Valley master with one strike, Ningyu had even wrapped the 1,000-beast flame around the sword. Wait. The Evil Dragon Valley Master's pupils shrank when he sensed the terrifying Yuan Qi fluctuations on the red demon sword and saw the flames of 10,000 beasts leaping on the sword blade. I'll tell you who I am, but you have to promise me that you'll spare my life. Whether I spare you or not depends on the importance of the information you provide, Ningyu said indifferently. I am from the Ghost King sect. Evil Dragon Valley Master gritted his teeth as if he had made a big decision. If you spare my life, I can recommend you to the Ghost King sect. Ghost King sect? Ningyu frowned slightly. He had heard of the Ghost King sect in his previous life. In the Heavenly Demon region, the Ghost King sect was on the same level as the Supreme Nine Purities Temple and Divine Emperor Palace. Its status was a level higher than the Corpse sect, Divine Blood Palace, and 100 Flower Palace. The Ghost King sect had 3 branches: the Ghost King sect, the Ghost King Hall, and the Ghost King Palace. The strength of each branch was comparable to the Corpse sect. Therefore, in the eyes of the Heavenly Demon region's experts, the Ghost King sect was one of the top forces in the Heavenly Demon region, even more terrifying than the Supreme Nine Purities Temple and Divine Emperor Palace. There are 3 branches of the Ghost King sect. Which one are you from? Ningyu asked in a deep voice. The Ghost King sect. I am from the Ghost King sect, the Evil Dragon Valley Master said honestly. Why did you come to the Great Xia Kingdom? Ningyu continued. My destination is not the Great Xia Kingdom, but the Qinya Empire. I am just passing by the Great Xia Kingdom. The Evil Dragon Valley Master said, rumor has it that a treasure has been unearthed in the Qinya Empire and there is a great opportunity there. Therefore, all the experts of the Ghost King sect and above have gone to the Qinya Empire. The Qinya Empire? Ningyu raised his eyebrows. He was a little surprised. The Qinya Empire was not in the Mystic Moon continent, but in the Pill Formation continent. Moreover, the 100 Flower Palace and Divine Emperor Palace were both located in the Qinya Empire. That's right. An Earth Supreme from the Ghost King sect has also gone there. If it wasn't for Debo, I would have arrived at the Qinya Empire long ago. Why would I stay in the Great Xia Kingdom? The Evil Dragon Valley Master nodded his head at first, then revealed an angry expression. He blamed all the problems on Debo. What kind of treasure has been unearthed in the Qinya Empire? Ningyu asked again. I'm not sure. I need to go there to find out. The Evil Dragon Valley Master's eyes flickered. Rumor has it that there is a tomb of a Sky Supreme in a certain area of the Qinya Empire. The tomb of a Sky Supreme. Ningyu revealed a solemn expression when he heard that. In his previous life, he had cultivated to the Sky Supreme level. At the same time, he knew how difficult it was for an ordinary peak Earth Supreme to cultivate to the Sky Supreme level. The tomb of a Sky Supreme might contain an opportunity to advance to the Sky Supreme level. Once it was unearthed, it would definitely become the target of thousands of people. Of course, the tomb of a Sky Supreme was not that easy to enter. There was a peerless killing array inside. Even a 9th grade human Supreme might die inside if they were not careful. This is my chance. While Ningyu was stunned, the evil Dragon Valley Master's eyes lit up. He raised his right leg and kicked at Ningyu. The evil Dragon Valley Master's right leg grew bigger and bigger. In the end, it was several times bigger. Oh no! How powerful was Ningyu's perception! As soon as the evil Dragon Valley Master kicked, he realized that something was wrong. His figure dashed out. Ningyu took out the incorporeal elixir furnace and poured his soul power into it. As he poured his soul power, the incorporeal elixir furnace instantly grew bigger. Crack! In the next instant, the enlarged incorporeal elixir furnace came into contact with the evil Dragon Valley Master's right leg. A crisp sound rang out. The evil Dragon Valley Master was sent flying. Since you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish. Originally, Ningyu had planned to spare the evil Dragon Valley Master's life. However, the evil Dragon Valley Master did not know what was good for him and attacked him. Chapter 1248. Nirvana. Whoosh! The sword ray was small at first, but as time passed it grew bigger and bigger, eventually becoming several times bigger. No. The evil Dragon Valley Master's face was filled with despair as he stared at the approaching giant sword ray. The evil Dragon Valley Master could clearly feel that he was so close to death, so close that he could touch it with his hand. Ningyu, my position in the Ghost King sect is very high. As long as you don't kill me, I promise. Evil Dragon Valley Master's begging voice was cut off abruptly as he spat out a mouthful of blood. The huge sword ray pierced through his heart, entering from the front and exiting from the back. Swoosh! With his heart pierced, evil Dragon Valley Master struggled for a while before dying on the spot. For an expert at his level, the death of his physical body did not mean death. He needed to destroy his soul as well. Therefore, after piercing the evil Dragon Valley Master's heart, Ningyu flipped his wrist and threw the 10,000 spirit holy flag out. The 10,000 ghosts sacred flag had a special characteristic. It had a fatal restraining effect on souls. Although evil Dragon Valley Master's soul was strong, it was no match for the 10,000 ghosts sacred flag. He was subdued by it in a few moves and became a powerful soul in its body. The 10,000 ghosts sacred flag's power would grow stronger as more souls were added to its body. This, the scene of the 10,000 ghosts sacred flag devouring evil Dragon Valley Master's soul, fell into the eyes of revered spiritual Su and the others who were rushing over. At this moment, revered spiritual Su, Zwukong, and the others' mouths were slightly agape, speechless for a long time. From the strength of evil Dragon Valley Master's soul, they could infer his true cultivation, a late-stage 9th grade human supreme, and a peak late-stage 9th grade human supreme. When did Ningyu's strength become so strong? He could even kill a late-stage 9th grade human supreme. Is that a puppet? Suddenly, revered spiritual Su's gaze was attracted by Jean and in the distance. That was because he sensed a terrifying aura from Jean, a late-stage 9th grade human supreme. Revered spiritual Su's jaw almost dropped. It was not that revered spiritual Su's hair was too long, but what happened was too unexpected. Wasn't Ningyu taken away by Di Bo from Emperor Divine Palace? Why would he appear here and even bring back a 9th grade advanced human supremacy puppet? The most important thing was that Ningyu's own cultivation had actually reached such a terrifying level. Senior Spirit Void. Keeping the 10,000 holy flag, Ningyu flew to the front of Honorable Spiritual Su and the rest. Ningyu, you really surprised me. Supremacy Lingshu opened his mouth, wanting to say something, but no words came out. Everyone had secrets, and Ningyu was no exception. The fact that Ningyu was able to escape from Di Bo, kill the evil Dragon Valley Master, and bring back a late-stage 9th grade human Supreme Realm puppet was enough to prove that Ningyu was extraordinary. He might not even be a match for Ningyu. If Ningyu wanted to say something, he would definitely tell them. If he didn't want to say it, there was no point in asking. That's right, where is Fong Guisheng? Ningyu had been worrying about how to explain when Supremacy Lingshu asked. Since Lingshu didn't ask, he was happy to be at ease. Right now, his soul power was at the middle stage of the 8th grade, only a step away from the late stage of the 8th grade. Ningyu's plan was simple. First, find Fong Guisheng, devour his soul strength, and raise it to late stage 8th grade. Dreams were beautiful, but reality was cruel. Supremacy Lingshu looked embarrassed. After you left, Fong Guisheng blew himself up. What? He blew himself up? Ningyu was so surprised that he almost jumped up. Fong Guisheng was a veteran mid-stage 9th grade human supremacy. The power of his self-destruction was bound to be terrifying. Don't worry, Dan Guzi and I already knew that Fong Guisheng was going to blow himself up, so we reduced the power of his self-destruction to the minimum. Supremacy Lingshu hurriedly explained. That's right. Before Fong Guisheng blew himself up, we searched his body. Beside him, Dan Guzi nodded. This thing was obtained from Fong Guisheng's body. With a flick of his wrist, Dan Guzi took out a golden pearl. In the center of the pearl was a fingernail-sized area. Within that area was a lump of white. Just what is it? Ningyu held the golden bead in his hand and observed it. We tried everything, including blood, spiritual strength, and yuan qi. We even used a pill cauldron to refine it. Supremacy Lingshu said. Regretfully, this golden pearl seems to be abnormally hard. Nothing worked on it. Nothing worked on it? Ningyu raised an eyebrow. Then he sent a bit of his spiritual strength into the golden pearl. The result was just as Supremacy Lingshu had said. Ningyu's spiritual strength was blocked outside the golden pearl, unable to advance an inch. I'll put it away first. I'll study it when I have time. After thinking about it, Ningyu decided to put it away and study it later. Let's go. After putting away the golden pearl, Ningyu controlled Jean and shot out. His target was the imperial family. Swish! Behind Ningyu, Supremacy Lingshu and Dan Guzi exchanged a glance, then followed Ningyu and disappeared. The battle ended as quickly as it started. The evil Dragon Valley Master, a peak 9th rank human sovereign, was easily killed by Ningyu. Countless onlookers were killed or injured. Anyone who dares to leak this matter will be killed without mercy. Not long after, a piece of news came from the imperial family. Anyone who dared to leak this matter would be hunted down by the imperial family. Everyone knew that there was a 9th rank human sovereign in the imperial family. No one dared to act rashly, choosing to keep their mouths shut. Within a secret chamber in the imperial family, Supremacy Lingshu, Ningyu, Dan Guzi, and Jinin, the three of them stared at the middle-aged man in front of them with grave expressions. Supremacy Lingshu, Ningyu, Dan Guzi, and Jin and Ninghai. The man in front of them was none other than Ningyu's father in this life, Ninghai. Ninghai's entire body was emitting golden light. His entire body was bathed in a golden ocean. When did my father become like this? Ningyu asked. 1 day ago. Supremacy Lingshu replied. A day ago, I broke the protective barrier on the surface of your father's body. Then, your father became like this. It's not a bad thing. Pil Guzi had some understanding of this and said, I once flipped through the ancient records of the Alchemy Union and learned that this is a nirvanic rebirth. Nirvana rebirth? Ningyu was slightly startled and asked doubtfully, Isn't it rumored that only the Phoenix clan can undergo nirvana rebirth? Why did such a change happen to my father? My guess is that your father must have accidentally consumed a nirvana pill, said Dan Guzi. The nirvana pill is a 10th grade medicinal pill. It might really allow my father to undergo nirvanic rebirth. Ningyu murmured. Something's wrong. Chapter 1249. Bloodline. A phoenix's nirvanic rebirth was a very long process. Although Ning, you didn't know how a phoenix underwent nirvanic rebirth, ordinary people knew that it wasn't so easy to succeed. Even something as powerful as a phoenix would find it difficult to succeed, let alone a mortal like Ning Hai. Something's wrong. Suddenly, Ning Yu's expression changed. The golden light around Ning Hai's body grew denser and denser. In the end, golden blood began to seep out of his skin. How could his blood be golden? Both Spirit Void and Pilguzi were shocked. I get it, ha ha ha. I get it. Ning Yu raised his head and laughed. What's going on? Spirit Void and Pilguzi hastily turned to Ning Yu. The war god body. Ning Yu said solemnly. What? The war god body. As expected, hearing the words war god body come out of Ning Yu's mouth, Spirit Void and Pilguzi almost jumped in shock. The war god body was a godlike existence. A fully matured war god body would basically be invincible in the same realm. Fighting across realms would be as easy as chopping vegetables. The only thing that surprised them was that it had been many years since the war god body had appeared on the continent. Could it be that Ning Hai's background was very special? His bloodline isn't very pure. After examining Ning Hai's blood, Ning Yu shook his head. It only has 1/10 of the normal war god body's bloodline. Not bad. 1/10 of the war god body's bloodline is extremely terrifying. Pilguzi seemed to have some understanding of the war god body. Right now, the most important thing isn't to discuss this. It's to find a way for your father to consume large amounts of medicinal pills and origin crystals. Yes, your father is undergoing nirvanic rebirth. He definitely needs a large amount of medicinal pills and origin crystals. Spirit Void nodded. Nirvanic rebirth is too difficult. Taking a deep breath, Ning Yu solemnly said, Senior Spirit Void, Pilguzi, think of a way to find medicinal pills and origin crystals for me. I'll stay behind to help. No problem. Venerable Spirit Void and Pilguzi knew just how serious the situation was. They immediately left the room and began to scavenge for pills and crystals. Once Venerable Spirit Void and Pilguzi left, Ning Yu's expression turned grave. The Nirvana rebirth was extremely difficult. Even the complete god of war body might not be able to succeed. Not to mention Ning Hai's half-baked war god physique. Therefore, Ning Yu was under a lot of pressure. If he succeeded, then Ning Hai's cultivation would experience a terrifying increase. It was even possible for him to reach grade 8 or grade 9 human supreme realm. If he failed, he would turn into ashes and disappear from the world. In order to let Ning Hai successfully undergo nirvana, Ning Yu sat cross-legged behind Ning Hai. He placed his hands on Ning Hai's back, and a steady stream of essence qi entered Ning Hai's body through his palms. As the essence in his body continued to increase, Ning Hai's aura gradually stabilized. Ning Yu, one of these 2 storage pouches contains origin crystals, and the other contains medicinal pills. Before long, Venerable Spirit Void and Pilguzi returned to the room. They didn't enter the room, but through the 2 storage pouches inside. Jean and go guard outside the room. Without my permission, don't let anyone in, including Venerable Spirit Void and Pilguzi. Ning Yu said in a low voice. Russell. Jean and was very obedient. He moved his feet and instantly arrived outside the room. Come back and throw the storage pouches over to me. Jean and had just arrived outside the room when Ning Yu's voice sounded in his ear. Helpless, Jean and could only return to the room and throw the storage pouches to Ning Yu. Crack. Disregarding all consequences, Ning Yu poured out all the medicinal pills and origin crystals in the storage pouches, tossing them into his mouth and chewing them. Reality proved that Ning Yu's actions were a little impulsive. Who were Venerable Spirit Void and Pilguzi. The medicinal pills and essence crystals that they found were all not ordinary items. The lowest grade medicinal pills were grade 8, and the lowest origin crystals were king grade. Refined for me. Swallowing so many medicinal pills and crystals in one go, Ningyu's expression was extremely grave. He hurriedly circulated the spirit transformation art and started refining. ZZZT. However, just as Ningyu was about to refine the medicinal pills and crystals in his body, he discovered a terrifying devouring power coming from Ninghai's body, entering his body through his palm. The medicinal pills and crystals were completely devoured by this devouring power before they could be refined. The devouring power seemed to have come with a purpose. After refining the medicinal pills and crystals in Ningyu's body, it once again returned to Ninghai's body to hibernate. Swish! After another period of time, Venerable Spirit Void and Pil Guzi returned once more, similarly throwing out 2 storage pouches and disappearing. The same thing happened a second time. The devouring power in Ninghai's body entered Ningyu's body again, devouring the medicinal pills and crystals, and then returned to hibernate in Ninghai's body. This situation repeated many times. Ningyu's expression gradually changed from solemnity to ecstasy, because Ningyu discovered that Ninghai's situation was improving, and the rate of improvement was increasing. There's more and more golden blood on the surface of his body, and the density of his bloodline has reached 20% of an adult war god body. Ningyu couldn't help but be excited. The stronger Ninghai's bloodline power was, the more heaven-defying his strength after nirvanic rebirth would be. At the same time, the success rate of nirvanic rebirth would be lower. However, Ningyu didn't need to worry about the low success rate at all. The reason for the low success rate of nirvanic rebirth was because when a phoenix or a martial artist underwent nirvanic rebirth, they couldn't refine medicinal pills and crystals in time to provide their own energy. Now that Ninghai's body had an unknown devouring power helping him, this worry was completely eliminated. With 10% bloodline power after nirvanic rebirth, my cultivation can reach early stage rank 8 human supreme. With 20% bloodline power, I should be able to reach mid-stage rank 8. Ningyu murmured, his face burning. Chi. Time was ticking away. In the blink of an eye, 3 hours had passed. A crisp sound came from the surface of Ninghai's body. 30%. Ningyu's expression had returned to normal from the initial ecstasy. With 30% bloodline power, his cultivation could reach late-stage rank 8 after nirvanic rebirth. As his enemies grew stronger, Ningyu knew that late-stage rank 8 human supreme was no longer of much use. Unless Ninghai had 100% bloodline power of the war god body, there was no way he could defeat a late-stage rank 8 human supreme. The strength of the war god body was closely related to the density of the bloodline. Between the same strength of the war god body, the higher the density of the bloodline, the stronger the battle strength. I wonder what percentage of bloodline father can achieve. Ningyu's eyes were fixed on the changes in Ninghai, even ignoring the changes in his own body. If revered Spirit Su and Dan Guzi were here, they would definitely be very surprised, because on the surface of Ningyu's skin, a trace of dark, golden blood was seeping out. Chapter 1250. His butt. Drip. Time passed by quickly. Every so often, venerated Spirit Su and Pil Guzi would return to the outside of the secret room, each time with 1 or 2 storage bags in their hands. The storage bag was filled with elixirs and essence crystals. In a few short hours, venerated Spirit Su and Pil Guzi had run through the Grand Xia several times. Fortunately, they were both 9th rank human sovereigns. Any other cultivator would have long since collapsed from exhaustion. At first, venerated Spirit Su and Pil Guzi could still find King grade yuan crystals, and 8th rank pills. But as time passed, the quality of the pills and yuan crystals they brought became lower and lower. From 8th rank pills and king grade yuan crystals, they dropped to 6th rank pills and transcendent rank yuan crystals. Swish, swish. After a day and night, when venerated spirit Su and Pill Guzi threw the last 2 storage bags into the secret room, they slumped to the ground, large beads of sweat forming on their foreheads. Even though revered spirit Su and Dan Guzi were both 9th grade mortal sovereigns, they felt a little powerless at this moment. After 24 hours of long-distance travel, their internal energy had long since been exhausted. Pill Guzi, do you think Ninghai can successfully undergo nirvanic rebirth? Venerated spirit, Su asked from outside the secret room. Venerated spirit, Su knew very well that Pill Guzi's understanding of nirvanic rebirth was much deeper than his own. If even Pill Guzi couldn't determine whether Ninghai could successfully undergo nirvanic rebirth, then there was no way he could. Less than a 20% chance. Pill Guzi's expression was grave. Although he had been helping Ninghai find pills and yuan crystals, Pill Guzi didn't believe Ninghai could successfully undergo nirvanic rebirth. Pill Guzi had once read through some records and knew just how difficult nirvanic rebirth was. Even if Ninghai had 100% bloodline of the war god body, it would still be very difficult for him to undergo nirvanic rebirth, let alone an incomplete war god body. As for Ningyu's help, Pill Guzi hadn't neglected it at all. In front of nirvanic rebirth, even a 9th rank human sovereign was powerless, let alone a peak 3rd rank human sovereign like Ningyu. Crackle! Outside the secret room, Ningyu had no idea of Pill Guzi and venerated spirit Su's worries. At this time, Ningyu had already noticed the dark, golden blood on the surface of his skin, and he felt a headache coming on. This was because this dark, golden blood had a terrifying consequence. He was unable to use his yuan qi. Once he tried to mobilize the essence qi in his body, he would feel waves of weakness attacking him, making it impossible for him to guard against it. Father's war god body bloodline has been awakened to 40%. Temporarily ignoring the condition of the surface of the skin, Ningyu shifted his gaze to Ninghai. On the surface of Ninghai's skin, the golden blood had already seeped into his skin, and a muffled sound came from within Ninghai's body. Bang! Following this muffled sound, Ninghai's war god body bloodline increased from 40% to 50%. With 50% of his bloodline power, his cultivation would reach the terrifying 9th grade human sovereign realm after nirvana rebirth. At the current stage, the impact of a 9th grade human supreme was still very great. I must help father. Clenching his fists tightly, Ningyu made up his mind to help his father complete his transformation no matter what. However, when Ningyu looked at Ninghai again, his mouth was agape in shock, and his face was filled with disbelief. The reason why Ningyu was shocked was because he noticed that on the surface of Ninghai's skin, traces of golden blood had once again emerged. Compared to the previous time, not only was the golden blood emerging faster, but the amount was also greater. Not good. Just as Ningyu was in a daze, the golden blood on the surface of Ninghai's skin actually flowed through his palm and into his body. Rumble. As soon as the golden blood entered Ningyu's body, it met its match. Dark golden blood. The dark golden blood and the golden blood seemed to have a deep hatred between them, and when enemies met, their eyes would burn with hatred. The golden blood and the dark golden blood started a huge battle within Ningyu's body. The battle did not last long, and it quickly dissipated. After it dissipated, Ningyu hurriedly used the endoscopy technique to check the situation within his body. Hiss! Even though Ningyu was prepared, he still gasped at this moment. The reason why Ningyu gasped was not because Ningyu was in despair, but because he was very excited. After the dark golden blood and the golden blood fought for a while, It completely gained the upper hand and devoured the golden blood. After devouring the golden blood, the dark golden blood was vigorous, as though it was looking down on the world. Behave yourself. Ning Yu's expression was very ugly. It was just a drop of liquid, but it was acting so arrogantly. Buzz! As though it heard Ning Yu's roar, the dark golden blood gradually dispersed and merged with Ning Yu's blood. The sudden change caused Ning Yu's pupils to constrict, and his eyes revealed an extremely shocked expression. The war god body with 80% bloodline power. Ning Yu could not believe the changes in his body. He was here mainly to wait for his father to be reborn. Now his father had yet to be reborn, but he had awakened 80% of his bloodline power, and his father had only awakened 50% of his bloodline power. Bang! In the blink of an eye, a muffled sound came from Ning Yu's sea of consciousness. What the F***? If Ning Yu was shocked before, then now, Ning Yu directly cursed. Shock, surprise, joy, all kinds of emotions appeared on Ning Yu's face, and it seemed very sudden. Fourth grade, Human Supreme. At this moment, Ning Yu broke through the shackles, advancing from the peak of third grade Human Supreme to fourth grade Human Supreme. I broke through just like that. As the person involved, Ning Yu was very confused. It could be said that he was extremely confused. Until now, he did not even know how he advanced to fourth grade Human Supreme. He only saw the golden blood flowing out of Ning Hai's skin, entering his body and wreaking havoc. The golden blood wreaked havoc for a while before being devoured by the dark golden blood, disappearing completely. Then Ning Yu realized that there were changes in his body. A muffled sound came from his sea of consciousness. Ning Yu's cultivation advanced from the peak of third grade Human Supreme to fourth grade Human Supreme. Roar! Suddenly a loud roar was heard. Then a black figure flew out from the storage ring. Ha ha ha! I've finally advanced to fourth grade Human Supreme. Ning Yu, I came looking for you right after I advanced to fourth grade Human Supreme. Now let me test your strength. With a wild laugh, the Dark Emperor swept his tail towards Ning Yu's thigh. The Dark Emperor was still very rational. He did not go for the kill, but only used 50% of his strength. Because, in the Dark Emperor's view, as long as he used his full strength, Ning Yu would definitely not be able to withstand it. Scram! Ning Yu was studying the changes in his body, as well as how long it would take for Ning Hai to successfully undergo nirvana. The Dark Emperor's disturbance at this time was purely asking for a beating. Ning Yu raised his right leg and kicked the Dark Emperor's, but as he berated. Chapter 1251. His Cultivation Sword. Plop! The Dark Emperor's body drew an arc in the air before landing outside the secret chamber. Dark Emperor, why did you come out of the secret chamber? Outside the secret chamber, Sage Spiritual Su and Dan Guzi sat cross-legged on the ground, panting heavily. Seeing the Dark Emperor come out of the secret chamber, they looked at the Dark Emperor suspiciously with puzzled expressions. The Dark Emperor shivered and hurriedly stood up, with a sweep of his tail and a pat of his, but the Dark Emperor pretended that nothing had happened. With my help, Ning Yu advanced to the fourth grade Sovereign Realm. What? Sage Spirit Void and Pilguzi were both shocked. Not long ago, Ning Yu was only a peak third grade Sovereign Realm. How long had it been? And now, Ning Yu had advanced to the fourth grade Sovereign Realm? What's the big deal? Ning Yu's talent is SOSO, just a little bit weaker than mine. Even I could advance to the fourth grade Sovereign Realm, so it's not surprising that he advanced to the fourth grade Sovereign Realm. Waving his hand, the Dark Emperor said, "You guys stay here and watch. I've also just advanced to the fourth grade Sovereign Realm, so I need to find a place to rest." As he spoke, the Dark Emperor limped off into the distance. "I owe Ningyu, you brat. When I completely stabilize my cultivation, I'll definitely give yer but a good spanking." But as the Dark Emperor left, he vaguely uttered those words. How powerful were sage, spiritual Su, and Dan Guzi's senses. When they heard the Dark Emperor's words, their mouths twitched a few times. Without a doubt, the Dark Emperor must have wanted to cause trouble, but was forcefully chased out by Ningyu. Dan Guzi, isn't Ningyu helping his father undergo nirvanic rebirth? How does he still have time to cultivate? After the Dark Emperor left, Sage Spiritual Su frowned. In Sage Spiritual Su's view, Ningyu being able to survive so close to Ning Hai's nirvanic rebirth was already a great fortune, not to mention improving further. There were a few times when he wanted to open the secret room and enter, but when he saw Jean and standing next to him like a door god, he chose to stop. The Golden Leo was so powerful that Reverend Spirit Su didn't dare to fight it. "I'm not sure. I've never encountered such a situation before." Shaking his head, Dan Guzi's expression was grave. Nirvana rebirth only existed in ancient books. Even he had never seen it with his own eyes. "Forget it. We can't interfere with what Ningyu wants to do. The only thing we can do now is to recover as soon as possible and seal the secret room to prevent it from affecting others." Taking a deep breath, Honorable Spirit Su sat down cross-legged again and began to cultivate. Chi-Chi. Inside the secret chamber, Ningyu clenched his right fist and punched out. The void let out a sizzling sound. "My strength has at least doubled." Ningyu's face lit up as he felt the terrifying essence energy filling his body. You could clearly feel that with his current strength, he could instantly kill a 9th grade initial human supreme master. He could even fight against a 9th grade intermediate human supreme master. Of course, against a 9th grade late human supreme master. Only death awaited him. "I need to find a way to increase my cultivation." Ningyu's expression was grave. He decided that after Ning Hai's nirvana rebirth was successful, he would do everything he could to increase his cultivation. External power was meaningless. Only one's own strength was important. Although Ningyu was one of the 5 absolute geniuses, they were only useful against cultivators below the Earth's supreme realm. In other words, when Ningyu was a 4th grade mortal sovereign, he could fight against a 9th grade mortal supreme. But when he was a 5th grade mortal supreme, he couldn't fight against a 9th grade mortal supreme. In the sovereign realm, the 5 absolute geniuses and 4 absolute geniuses were less and less useful. But that didn't mean that the 5 absolute geniuses were useless. They would still be of great help to Ningyu when he tried to break through to the Earth's supreme realm. The higher the talent, the higher the chance of breaking through to the Earth's supreme realm. For example, now that Ningyu was one of the 5 absolute geniuses, he had a 50% chance of breaking through to the Earth's supreme realm. Once he became one of the 6 absolute geniuses, the chance of breaking through to the Earth's supreme realm would reach 60%. And this was also the reason why countless people wanted to increase their talent. "Forget it. The most important thing now is to help my father achieve nirvana rebirth." Shaking his head, Ningyu tried hard to get rid of the thoughts in his mind and began to carefully observe Ning Hai. When the golden blood entered Ning Hai's body, Ning Hai's entire body emitted a golden light. Moreover, the golden light became more and more obvious. This was clearly a sign of nirvana rebirth. The only thing that made Ningyu feel regretful was that his father's war god physique bloodline had only reached 50%. 50% of the war god physique bloodline would only allow his cultivation to reach 9th grade mortal supreme after nirvana rebirth. Pucci. All of a sudden the situation changed. Ning Hai spat out a mouthful of fresh blood. His body swayed and the golden blood on the surface of his body began to recede. Not good. This change caused Ning Yu's expression to change slightly. Ning Yu was well aware of this. The denser the war god physique bloodline was, the lower the chance of nirvana rebirth. However, there was a unique devouring force in Ning Hai's body that was constantly devouring energy. Thus, Ning Hai had completely eliminated this worry. Fight! I'll transfer my war god physique bloodline to my father. Ning Yu wasn't an indecisive person. Since Ning Hai wasn't worried about the low chance of nirvana rebirth, then he would completely let go. Placing his hands on Ning Hai's back, Ning Yu forced out the blood essence of his war god physique and continuously transferred it into Ning Hai's body. As the war god physique bloodline increased, Ning Hai's body emitted a golden light, as if he was a golden war god. Russell! Standing up abruptly, Ning Hai's tightly shut eyes suddenly opened. Now is not the time to awaken the power of the bloodline. Ning Hai first swept his gaze around the room, before his gaze fell onto Ning Yu. Nirvana rebirth isn't too difficult for me. I'll leave the power of the bloodline for you. Swoosh! With a point of his right hand, a few drops of blood essence flew out and entered Ning Yu's body. The power of the bloodline. Ning Yu could clearly feel that the power of the war god physique bloodline in his body was soaring. 80%, 90%. Pa! With this dull sound, something in Ning Yu's body seemed to be broken. His stagnant cultivation once again rose at a speed visible to the naked eye. Early 4th grade, human, supreme martial artist. Middle 4th grade, human, supreme martial artist. Middle 4th grade, human, supreme martial artist. Late 4th grade, human, supreme martial artist. Peak 4th grade, human, supreme martial artist. In just a few seconds, Ning Yu's cultivation had risen from early 4th grade, human, supreme martial artist, to peak 4th grade, human, supreme martial artist. Crack! Another half an hour passed. When this crisp sound rang out in his consciousness, Ning Yu was a little stunned. 5th grade, human, supreme martial artist. The power of the bloodline was actually this terrifying. After his cultivation advanced to early 5th grade, human, supreme martial artist, the speed at which Ning Yu's cultivation rose had slowed down significantly. Although it had slowed down, it still continued to rise. Chapter 1252. Not quite. Whoosh! He slowly let out a breath of turbid air. Sensing the changes in his sea of consciousness, Ning Yu's expression was one of extreme shock. Was this the power of bloodline? In his previous life, Ning Yu had been just an ordinary person. He didn't have any special constitution. He had thought that in this life, he would also be an ordinary person. He hadn't expected his constitution to be the war god body. The war god body was said to be able to slay gods and immortals. It was one of the top 10 constitutions in the world. With Ning Hai's help, Ning Yu's bloodline had reached 100% density. In fact, it had even undergone some changes. Ordinary people with the war god body would have golden blood flowing through their veins, even at 100%. But Ning Yu had dark golden blood flowing through his veins. It was indeed a bit strange. You leave first. I'm about to begin my nirvanic rebirth. Right at this moment, Ning Hai waved his hand and signaled Ning Yu to leave the chamber first. Startled, Ning Yu said, "You want to leave now? I might be able to help you if I stay. You've just advanced to the mid-rank 5 human sovereign, so your body isn't very stable yet. You'll need some time to stabilize." Ning Hai said, "Don't worry, a mere nirvanic rebirth isn't a problem for me." Ning Hai exuded a strong domineering aura. Helpless, Ning Yu could only tell him to be careful and leave the room. Creak! Seeing Ning Yu walk out of the room, Revered Spirit Su and Pil Guzi shot to their feet. Ningyu, your father succeeded in his nirvanic rebirth? What's his cultivation level now? Ningyu, your father has the war god body. After his nirvanic rebirth, he'll definitely be extraordinary. My guess is that he's at least a peak rank 8 human sovereign, or even a rank 9 human sovereign. Pil Guzi had a better understanding of the war god body and nirvanic rebirth. Stop guessing. My father is undergoing nirvanic rebirth. Shaking his head, Ningyu said, Even I was chased out. Even you were chased out? Sage, Spirit Void, and Pil Guzi were astonished. They were very puzzled. Could it be that something went wrong during the nirvana? Otherwise, with Ningyu's strength, he could totally stay in the secret chamber. Dan Guzi sighed and said, Just wait. I don't think your father is the type of person to speak without thinking. Since he allowed you to come out, it means he has a certain level of confidence. That's right. Nirvana rebirth is no small matter. Even if we go in, we won't be of much help. Reverend Lingshu agreed. At this stage, this is the only way. Taking a deep breath, Ningyu found a place to sit down cross-legged and circulated the spirit transformation art to cultivate. Something's wrong. Ningyu had just begun circulating the spirit transformation art when Venerable Spirit Void and Dan Guzi called out at the same time. Ningyu stopped and looked at them in confusion. You've actually advanced to the mid-rank 5 mortal sovereign realm. Venerable Spirit Void and Pil Guzi's eyes widened as if they had seen a ghost. Just now, when the Dark Emperor had come out, he had said that Ningyu was a rank 4 mortal sovereign. How long had it been? How could Ningyu have advanced to the mid-rank 5 mortal sovereign realm? But the truth was right in front of them. They had no choice but to believe it. I was just lucky. Ning, you didn't want to say anything more about this matter. He closed his eyes and began circulating the spirit transformation art to cultivate. What a freak. Since Ning, you didn't want to talk about it, Venerable Spirit Void and Pil Guzi didn't ask. They muttered a few words to themselves and then fell silent. For a time, the outside of the secret chamber became abnormally quiet. On the contrary, the inside of the secret chamber was filled with rumbling sounds. Ning Hai's nirvana had already begun. His entire body was constantly being burned by the golden flames. His skin had turned from golden to black. There was even the smell of burning flesh. Ning Hai's entire body was in an extremely mysterious state. A special devouring power also surged out of his body to help him block the golden flames. Fortunately, he had the help of this devouring power. Otherwise, Ning Hai wouldn't have been able to withstand the burning of the golden flames. Looks like this devouring power is a good thing. As long as I use it properly, it will be a great helper. Although his entire body was black, Ning Hai's consciousness was not in a mess. Ning Hai's will was firm. He still believed that he could succeed in nirvana. Or rather, Ning Hai didn't care about this nirvana. Whoosh! Endless golden flames blossomed like a bright flower. Ning Hai's entire body was submerged in the golden flames. Looking closely, the golden flames wanted to refine Ning Hai. You want to refine me? It's not that easy. Ning Hai's eyes shone with a frightening light. He opened his mouth and swallowed the golden flames that had just bloomed into his stomach. What you're doing is purely courting death. A hollow voice came from Ning Hai's body. Hearing this voice, Ning Hai's face darkened. He said coldly, I don't need you to tell me what I want to do. Hee, I'm afraid you'll damage my war god physique. The hollow voice sounded again. Let me remind you, you have less than a year to live. As the voice faded, the hollow voice disappeared completely. Boom! When the hollow voice disappeared, Ning Hai's nirvana also came to an end. If others saw this, they would definitely be very shocked, because Ning Hai's nirvana was completely different from an ordinary phoenix's nirvana. After Ning Hai's nirvana, his cultivation did not increase much. He only reached the early stage of a rank 8 human sovereign. However, Ning Hai's aura was restrained like a fierce tiger. Although he was only an early stage 8 human sovereign, Ning Hai's battle strength was very shocking. Creak! After resting in the secret chamber for a while, Ning Hai pushed open the door and walked out. Swish! 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 Seeing Ning Hai appear, Ning Yu, Sovereign Spirit Su, and Pil Guzi immediately rushed out and surrounded Ning Hai. You succeeded in nirvana. The first to be shocked was Pil Guzi. Pil Guzi was very confused. In such a short time, it was logically impossible for Ning Hai to succeed in nirvana. But the truth was right in front of him. He had no choice but to believe it. Ning Hai had succeeded in nirvana, and his cultivation had reached the early stage of a rank 8 human sovereign. Although it was a bit unexpected, it was still an increase in his cultivation. Nodding, Ning Hai said, I did succeed in nirvana. I hope the two of you won't speak of this matter. Boom! As he spoke, Ning Hai's aura exploded out, pressing down on Pil Guzi and Sovereign Spirit Su. Crack, crack! Under the pressure of Ning Hai's aura, Sovereign Spirit Su and Pil Guzi couldn't help but want to kneel. This kind of aura was too terrifying, so terrifying that they had no way of resisting it. Father! These two have gone through life and death with me, and it was Senior Spirit Su who saved us. Ning Yu hurriedly said, afraid that Ning Hai would harm Sovereign Spirit Su and Pil Guzi. Ning Hai's aura not only shocked Sovereign Spirit Su and the others, but also made Ning Yu want to kneel. Ning Yu was sure that Ning Hai wasn't deliberately suppressing him. He had just been affected by the aftershocks. If even the aftershocks almost made him kneel, it could be imagined how much pressure Sovereign Spirit Su and Pil Guzi were under. Sovereign Spirit Su. Chapter 1253. Chapter 1253. Purple Spirit Body. In order to avoid being hunted down, I changed my appearance. Under Ning Hai's powerful pressure, revered spirit, Su shook his head, and his appearance changed. It really is you. Ning Hai nodded when he saw Honorable Spiritual Su's face. It was all thanks to you. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been able to survive. With your strength. Revered Spirit Void wanted to say something, but he didn't continue. My body was sealed back then, so I couldn't unleash my full power. Ning Hai knew what Revered Spirit Su was thinking. He smiled faintly and said, otherwise I can kill any Tom, Dick, or Harry in minutes. No wonder you could marry Shaoshan. I used to think she was blind, but now it seems you really do have the right. Sovereign Spirit Void understood. For Ning Hai, Mu Yunshan had even rejected the palace head of Emperor God Palace. Back then, the palace head had been a peerless genius, one of the top geniuses of the Sky Demon region. Back then, everyone at the Supreme Nine Purities Temple had tried to stop them. No one had thought well of the relationship. The reason was that Ning Hai's talent had been tested at the Supreme Nine Purities Temple, and his performance had been mediocre. Some of the higher-ups of the Supreme Nine Purities Temple had even concluded that Ning Hai would never be able to cultivate to the Paragon realm. After testing Ning Hai's talent, the Supreme Nine Purities Temple had completely banished him. A person who couldn't even cultivate to the Paragon realm wasn't fit to be Mu Yunshan's husband. Let's not talk about those things. Ning Hai waved his hand. Sovereign Spirit Void, I have some things to discuss with little you. Please leave for a moment. Of course, of course. Nodding, Sovereign Spirit Void and Dan Guzi left the secret room. Ning Hai then shifted his gaze to Jean and, Father, that's a puppet under my control, said Ning Yu. Swish. Ning Hai retracted his gaze and made a grabbing motion with his right hand. A cold light shot out. It was extremely fast. entering Ningyu's mind in the blink of an eye. This, sensing the information that appeared in his mind, Ningyu opened his mouth wide in disbelief. Supreme 9 Purities, Sword Art. The information that appeared in Ningyu's mind was the last 6 moves of the Supreme 9 Purities, Sword Art. The Supreme 9 Purities, Sword Formula had a total of 12 moves. Ning Hai had told Ningyu the first 6 moves for the first time, and now he had also told Ningyu the last 6 moves. This is for you too. Before Ningyu could familiarize himself with the last few moves of the Supreme 9 Purities, Sword Formula, Ning Hai took out another jade pendant. The jade pendant was not particularly large, only the size of a palm. Soul Jade Pendant. Ningyu looked surprised. Ningyu could clearly sense that the jade pendant contained a terrifyingly pure soul force. As long as he could refine the soul force, his soul strength would definitely reach the 8th grade advanced stage. I will be leaving the Great Xia Kingdom next. After handing over the jade pendant to Ningyu, Ning Hai said with a calm expression, "Leaving the Great Xia Kingdom." Ningyu asked doubtfully, "Father, are you going to the Supreme 9 Purities Temple?" "With my current strength, I still can't step into the Supreme 9 Purities Temple." Shaking his head, Ning Hai said, "I need to find a place to increase my strength as soon as possible, and strive to break through the limit as soon as possible." Break through the limit. Ningyu was stunned at first, then said in surprise, "Father, when you were at your peak, could you have been an Earth Supreme?" Ningyu could not help but be surprised. According to his observation, Ning Hai was covered in a layer of white mist, and he could not see through it at all. "It's not time for you to know about these things yet. You should first refine this soul jade pendant and strive to increase your soul strength to the 8th grade advanced stage." Ning Hai did not want to talk about this anymore, so he changed the topic and pointed at the jade pendant in Ningyu's hand, saying, "I will protect you." All right. Since Ning Hai did not want to say more, Ningyu did not ask any further. Ningyu knew that there were some things that Ning Hai did not tell him for his own good. Taking a deep breath, Ningyu picked up the jade pendant, threw it directly into his mouth, and chewed. Crack! The jade pendant shattered, and a thick soul strength flowed through Ningyu's throat and into his body. "Hurry up and use your sorcery to refine it," Ning Hai said anxiously. Ningyu calmly used the spirit conversion technique and began to refine this pure soul strength. Buzz! With Ning Hai's help, it didn't take long for Ningyu to completely refine the soul force in the jade pendant. Bang! After refining so much pure soul strength, Ningyu's soul strength successfully advanced from the 8th grade intermediate stage to the 8th grade advanced stage. So difficult? Feeling the strength of Ningyu's soul strength, Ning Hai slightly frowned, a little puzzled. There was a lot of pure soul strength in the jade pendant, and it did not make sense for Ningyu to only increase his soul strength by 1 rank. Could it be that Ningyu was different from others, and that he needed to consume a few times more pure soul strength than others to increase his soul strength by 1 rank? Thinking of this, Ning Hai slightly used his perception, wanting to check Ningyu's sea of consciousness. Forget it, everyone has their own path. Before his perception entered Ningyu's sea of consciousness, Ning Hai stopped. "I'm leaving. You can only go to the Supreme 9 Purities Temple when you advance to the Earth Supremacy stage." Waving his hand, Ning Hai left these words and then tore through the void and entered. Looking at Ning Hai's departing figure, Ningyu was a little confused. Until now, Ningyu still clearly remembered what Ning Hai told him for the first time. Don't go to the Supreme 9 Purities Temple if you don't reach the Earth Supremacy stage. Now that he had reached the Earth Supremacy stage and was a mid-level 5th grade human supremacy, Ning Hai changed his words and told him not to go to the Supreme Nine Purities Temple if he didn't reach the Earth's supremacy stage. Ning Yu even suspected that when he advanced to the Earth's supremacy stage, his father would appear again and tell him not to go to the Supreme Nine Purities Temple unless he reached the Sky supremacy stage. Father should be from the War God physique race, and his position in the War God physique race is definitely not low. Taking a deep breath, Ning Yu tried to calm himself down. There were many physiques in this world. In his previous life, Ning Yu was a Sky supremacy, so he had some understanding of these things. Some powerful physiques lived in groups and lived in seclusion, not easily coming out. It seemed that they were waiting for something. What a headache! Rubbing his head, Ning Yu got up and walked to another secret room. Creak! Pushing open the secret room, Ning Yu found Lu Wei sitting cross-legged in the center, her whole body shrouded in a light purple gas. Even the surface of Lu Wei's skin was constantly oozing purple blood. My God, physique race! Seeing the changes in Lu Wei, Ning Yu felt like he was in deep shit. Purple spirit physique. Lu Wei's current state was clearly the state of the purple spirit physique. Only a purple spirit physique could do this. Ning Yu was very confused. Didn't Lu Wei have the extreme Yin physique? Why did it become the purple spirit physique after breaking the extreme Yin physique? Just like the War God physique, the purple spirit physique was also an extremely terrifying physique. Chapter 1254. Chapter 1254. The time is not up. How could Lu Wei have a purple spirit body? Ning Yu felt that he had wasted his previous life. He was a Sky Supreme in his previous life, but he was so engrossed in alchemy that he rarely came into contact with the outside world. Whoosh! At this moment, Lu Wei suddenly opened her eyes and pointed with her right hand. Instantly, a cold light shot towards Ning Yu at a terrifying speed. Whoosh! Not only was the cold light fast, it was also extremely powerful. Ning Yu could clearly feel that if he was hit in the head by the cold light, he would be severely injured. Ding! At this critical moment, Ning Yu took out the red demon sword and blocked the cold light. A crisp sound rang out in the secret chamber. Lu Wei, I didn't expect you to have a purple spirit body. You've exceeded my expectations. Ning Yu smiled as he walked towards Lu Wei. A purple spirit body is indeed extraordinary. You've actually advanced to a second-grade human supreme. Ning Yu, Lu Wei squeezed out a smile. Thank you for taking care of me all this time. How could the change in Lu Wei's expression escape Ning Yu's eyes? What exactly is going on? Ning Yu's face turned cold as he asked in a deep voice. It's nothing, Lu Wei said. Speak. Ning Yu's tone was unquestionable. Some information suddenly appeared in my head, and it's about my parents, Lu Wei said after a moment of silence. About your parents? Ning Yu was taken aback. Aren't your parents in the capital? Why? At this point, Ning Yu stopped abruptly. Lu Wei had a purple spirit body, so her parents were definitely not ordinary people. Lu Durong had already said that he was not Lu Wei's biological father. Just tell me if you need anything. As long as I can help, I will definitely help, Ning Yu said. I'll definitely tell you if there's anything. With a smile, Lu Wei swaggered out of the secret chamber. Looking at Lu Wei's back, Ning Yu felt that she was hiding something from him. However, since Lu Wei didn't want to talk about it, Ning Yu didn't ask. Taking a deep breath, Ning Yu left the room with Jean Tuesday outside the secret chamber. Sage Spirit Void and Pale Guzi stood side by side. Seeing Ning Yu and Lu Wei come out together, Revered Spirit Su said in surprise, Ning Yu, where's your father? Let's go, Ning Yu said calmly. Gone. Revered Spirit Su's eyes widened. He didn't leave behind any words. Revered Spirit Su had many things to ask Ning Hai. Now that Ning Hai had left, who could he ask? He did. Father told me that before reaching the Earth Supreme level, I shouldn't set foot in the Supreme Nine Purities Temple. Ning, you didn't hide anything. Revered spirit, Sue's face darkened. What kind of words was that? The Supreme Nine Purities Temple was heavily guarded, especially the place where Mu Yun Shan was imprisoned. It was extremely dangerous, not to mention Earth Supremes. Even Sky Supremes wouldn't dare barge in. Over the next 3 to 4 days, Ningyu and revered spirit Su spent 2 days recovering to their peak condition. The remaining 2 days were spent traversing the Grand Xia's borders. Only Ningyu, revered spirit Su, and Dan Guzi knew about this operation. Everyone else was recuperating in the imperial family. Since they were going to leave for the Thousand Leaf Empire in a few days, Ningyu wanted to eradicate all hostile forces in the Grand Xia. The Corpse Sect and the Blood God Palace would all be uprooted. I didn't know before, but now that I did, I was shocked. 2 days later, in the imperial family's conference hall, panting, Venerable Spirit Void and Pilguzi said, "These people have hidden themselves quite deeply." After 2 days of searching, all the experts from the Corpse Sect and the Blood God Palace hidden in the Grand Xia were killed without exception. There was even an unexpected harvest. There were 2 5th-grade Mortal Supremes from the Sacred Heaven Sect hidden in a city, a 3rd-grade Mortal Supremes from the Supreme Nine Purities Temple hidden in Ivory City, and 2 7th-grade Mortal Supremes from the God Emperor Palace hidden in Tianqian City. After interrogation, it was found that these people were ordered to cause trouble for Ningyu. Without a doubt, Ningyu sent them to heaven after forcing them to reveal the mastermind. Ningyu, what do you plan to do now? Do you want to stay in the Grand Xia or go out to gain experience? Asked revered Spirit Su. With Ningyu's strength, it'll be hard for him to advance in the Grand Xia. In my opinion, it's better to go out and adventure, said Dan Guzi. I heard that the Pill Creation Continent is going to hold an alchemy conference. Why don't you come with me to try your luck? The Pill Creation Continent? You're wanted by the Alchemy Union of the Pill Creation Continent. Going there with you is no different from courting death, said revered Spirit Su. Dan Guzi was a bit embarrassed. Revered Spirit, Su was really touching a sore spot. Wasn't he wanted by the Alchemy Union of the Pill Creation Continent? What's the big deal? At most, he could use a disguise art to change his appearance. His disguise art had already reached the peak of perfection. Ordinary cultivators wouldn't be able to see through it. Stop arguing. Let's go to the Pill Creation Continent, said Ningyu. No, the Pill Creation Continent is too dangerous, said revered spirit Su hastily. He even viciously glared at Dan Guzi as if to say that it was his rotten idea. Dan Guzi had an urge to cry. I was just saying, the Pill Creation Continent is far more dangerous than you can imagine. Let's go somewhere else. For example, the Xianyue Continent's Alchemy Union's headquarters. There are many treasures and medicinal pills there that can help you increase your cultivation base. What are you thinking? What I meant was, let's go to the Pill Creation Continent's Thousand Leaf Empire. Ningyu rolled his eyes. I'm not an idiot. How could I just barge into the Pill Creation Continent's Alchemy Union? Good. You're not going to the Alchemy Union. Wait. Pill Guzi patted his chest. Before he could completely relax, he said, the Divine Emperor Palace is within the Thousand Leaf Empire. Going there is no different from throwing your life away. After spending a few days with Ningyu, Dan Guzi had already learned about Ningyu's background and family situation. He knew that the Divine Emperor Palace wanted to send people to kill Ningyu. The Divine Emperor Palace's headquarters was in the Thousand Leaf Empire. If Ningyu went there now, it would be even more dangerous than going to the Alchemy Union's headquarters. What's there to be afraid of? Suddenly, a cold snort rang out from outside the conference hall. Then a beautiful woman walked in with large strides. Xialan? No, you're the palace master of the 100 Flowers Palace. Ningyu frowned slightly when he saw the woman who had suddenly appeared. After which he said, You've taken control of Xialan's body again. Ningyu, don't give me that. You promised me that as long as I helped you deal with Dangu, you would teach me the soul attraction art, said the palace master coldly. I did promise to teach you the soul attraction art, but it hasn't been a month yet. Ningyu shrugged as if he was a dead pig that was not afraid of boiling water. In any case, he had said that as long as Xialan helped him deal with Dangu, he would teach her the soul attraction art in a month. Chapter 1255. Chapter 1255. Demon accompanying grass. You. The palace master gnashed her teeth in anger. She had originally thought that Ningyu would teach her the soul attraction technique after she survived the calamity, and then use a secret technique to heavily injure the mysterious expert of the Flower Palace. Who would have thought that Ningyu wouldn't teach her the soul attraction art? That infuriated her. Ningyu, you're going back on your word. The palace master's chest heaved, and her breasts bobbed up and down. Seeing this, Reverend Spirit Void and Pilguzi turned their heads. Senior Spirit Su. Pilguzi, why did you turn around? Ningyu asked Reverend Spiritual Su, and the others with a puzzled look. Cough, cough. Sage Spirit, Su coughed dryly. You guys chat first. I suddenly remembered something. As he spoke, Supremacy Lingshu moved his feet, intending to leave the meeting hall. All right, I won't joke with you. Waving his hand, Ningyu said, My next destination has already been decided. It's the Thousand Leaf Empire. Humph. You want to go to the Thousand Leaf Empire? Take a good look at yourself. The palace master grunted coldly and said, The Emperor Palace is deeply rooted in the Thousand Leaf Empire, and even my palace is unable to shake their foundation, let alone all of you. Who said I'm going to the Thousand Leaf Empire to cause trouble for the Emperor Palace? Ningyu crossed his arms in front of his chest and looked at the palace lord with interest. Can't I go to the Thousand Leaves Empire to sightsee? All right. Go sightseeing in the Thousand Leaf Empire. Forgive me for not accompanying you. The palace master's goal this time was to ask Ningyu for the soul attraction art. She could sense that if she didn't restrain the mysterious expert, her body would slowly be eroded away. Only by relying on the soul attraction technique to heavily injure the mysterious powerhouse could she survive and buy herself more time to escape. I originally wanted to tell someone about the soul attraction art, Ningyu said with a sigh. You. The palace master almost jumped up in anger. Taking a deep breath, Palatial Lord Centauria tried her best to calm down. After she calmed down, the more she thought about it, the more she felt that she couldn't fall for Ningyu's tricks. Ningyu wanted to go to the Thousand Leaves Empire, and there were two great sects in the Thousand Leaves Empire, the 100 Flowers Palace and the Emperor Divine Palace. She could forget about the Emperor Divine Palace. Ningyu definitely wanted to extract more benefits from her and let her lead the way for him. With this in mind, Palatial Lord Centauria found a chair to sit on and chose to close her eyes to rest. It's not that I don't want to teach you the soul guidance technique, but the soul guidance technique has certain limitations. Ningyu decided not to tease Palatial Lord Centauria. After sorting out his thoughts, Ningyu said, The soul attraction technique is a kind of soul attack technique that specializes in bombarding the body from a distance. In ancient times, some powerful beings used this kind of soul attack technique to kill people from a distance without leaving a trace. Not everyone can cultivate the soul induction technique. At the very least, you can't cultivate it in your current state. How can I cultivate the soul induction technique? Asked Palatial Lord Centaurea anxiously. There were two reasons why Palatial Lord Centaurea was so anxious. First, that mysterious expert was about to break free, and her body was growing weaker and weaker. Second, the spiritual strength she had left in Xia mind sea was growing weaker and weaker. It could only last 15 days at most. After that, it would completely disappear. In other words, if she couldn't cultivate the soul induction technique as soon as possible, she would never be able to do so. How could the Centaurea Palace Master not be anxious in such a situation? If you want to cultivate the soul induction technique, you have to refine the soul induction pill, said Ningyu. Then what are you waiting for? Hurry up and refine the soul induction pill, said Palatial Lord Centaurea. Although the soul induction pill is only a rank 8 pill, it's extremely difficult to refine. Before Ningyu could say anything, Dan Guzi explained, to refine the soul induction pill, you not only need a powerful spiritual perception, but you also need a vigorous internal energy. Of course, these things aren't difficult for ordinary alchemists, but the most important thing is that the pill formula for the soul induction pill hasn't appeared on the continent in 20 years. What? Hearing Dan Guzi's words, Palatial Lord Centaurea collapsed into a chair. She had bitterly waited for the soul induction technique, but had been defeated by the soul induction pill. She was extremely unwilling. Ningyu, you definitely have a way to refine the soul-luring pill. You definitely have the pill formula to refine the soul-luring pill. The palace master's spirits were aroused when she saw Ningyu and she spoke. Swish! Pill Guzi and Venerable Spirit Void also turned to look at Ningyu. That was especially true of Pill Guzi, whose face was filled with anticipation. It had been 20 years since the soul induction pill had appeared on the continent. As long as Ningyu knew the method to refine it, he would definitely be an honored guest no matter where he went. In front of everyone's gazes, Ningyu nodded slightly. I truly do know the method to refine the soul induction pill, but dash before the Palatial Lord Centaurea and Pill Guzi could get excited. Ningyu continued. Refining the soul induction pill requires an extremely precious medicinal ingredient. The Grand Xia doesn't have it. What medicinal ingredient? Asked Pill Guzi and Palatial Lord Centaurea. Demon accompanying grass, said Ningyu. Demon accompanying grass? Palatial Lord Centaurea and Pill Guzi looked at each other, both seeing the doubt in each other's eyes. Clearly, they had never heard of the demon accompanying grass. The so-called demon accompanying grass is a kind of medicinal herb that grows near the caves of demonic beasts, explained Ningyu. The demon accompanying grass only has one use, and that is to refine the soul induction pill. No wonder I've never heard of it. So it can only be used to refine the soul induction pill. Pill Guzi sighed. As a peak 8th rank alchemist, he had basically heard of all medicinal ingredients, but he had never heard of the demon accompanying grass. When Ningyu explained its use, he finally understood. Not only did he not know of the demon accompanying grass, there were probably many alchemists who didn't know of it. The method to refine the soul induction pill had already been lost, so very few people knew of the demon accompanying grass. Then what are you waiting for? Hurry up and go find the demon accompanying grass. The Palatial Lord Centaurea rose to leave. The demon accompanying grass isn't so easy to find. 3 conditions must be met in order for it to grow. Ningyu shook his head. What conditions? Asked Pill Guzi. First, a place of een and cold. The demon accompanying grass prefers een and cold places. Ningyu explained. Second, the lair of a peak 9th rank mortal sovereign demonic beast. The aura emitted by a peak 9th rank mortal sovereign demonic beast is the best fertilizer for the demon accompanying grass. Only near a peak 9th rank mortal sovereign demonic beast will the demon accompanying grass flourish. And there's one more, said the palatial Lord Centauria. Bloodstained ground. Taking a deep breath, Ning Yu said these 3 words. What's a bloodstained ground? Asked Pil Guzi. It's very simple. A bloodstained ground is a place where a battle between Earth or Sky Supremes took place. Their blood covered the entire ground. Ning Yu gravely said, the blood of an Earth or Sky Supremes can accelerate the growth of the demon accompanying grass. Chapter 1256. Chapter 1256. Thousand-Leaf Mountain. Hearing Ning Yu's words, Dan Guzi and the others all had grave expressions. Using the blood of a sky sovereign as fuel and growing beside a peak rank 9 sovereign's cave? Just thinking about it was a bit frightening. Picking the demon companion grass there? That was a joke, ignoring whether or not they could find the bloodstained lands. Even if they could, they wouldn't be able to take half a step there. I know a place that might fit the requirements of the bloodstained lands. Taking a deep breath, the palace master said, the 1,000-leaf mountain of the 1,000-leaf empire. I don't care about the 1,000-leaf mountain or the 10,000-leaf mountain. I'll leave the mission of finding the demon companion grass to you. If you can find it, I'll help you refine the soul attraction pill and teach you the soul attraction art. Ning Yu shrugged. If you can't find the demon companion grass, don't even think about obtaining the soul attraction art from me. You. The palace master gnashed her teeth in anger. The soul force she had hidden in Xielan's mind sea could only last for 15 days at most. If she couldn't learn the soul attraction art within 15 days, not only would the soul force dissipate, but even her body would die. Just what do you want? Demanded the palace master coldly. If it weren't for sovereign spirit Su and Dan Guzi, she would have long since taught Ning Yu a lesson. How could she possibly bow and scrape like this? Ha! I heard that the 100 Flowers Palace has many treasures and pills, as well as many high-grade martial techniques. Ning Yu smiled. I don't ask for much. As long as I help you refine the soul attraction pill, you have to let me choose 3 things from the 100 Flowers Palace. You're robbing me, raged the palace master. Forget it. Ning Yu rolled his eyes. There's an ancient legend that when the demon companion grass appears, blood will appear. I don't want to get involved. Ning Yu acted as if he had nothing to do with this matter, indicating that it had nothing to do with him. When the demon companion grass appeared, blood would appear. This wasn't Ning Yu's perfunctory words. It truly existed. It was said that every time the demon accompanying grass appeared, it represented chaos and bloodshed. Without absolute benefits, Ning Yu would definitely not step into the 1,000-leaf ridge that palatial Lord Centauria mentioned. Palatial Lord Centauria's expression was gloomy as she struggled internally. A long time passed before the palace master took a deep breath and said, Ning Yu, I agree to your request. So long as you're able to help me escape, then I'll allow you to choose 3 things from the Flower Palace. You sure are smart. Ning Yu looked at palatial Lady Centauria in surprise, stealing a beam and replacing it with a pillar. Palatial Lord Centauria was indeed very smart. She changed Ning Yu's help in refining the soul-luring pill to helping her escape. Ning Yu had already witnessed how powerful the mysterious expert who was entangled with palatial Lord Centauria was. It would be extremely difficult for him to help palatial Lord Centauria escape. Don't push your luck, said palatial Lady Centauria in a deep voice. I'm afraid of you. Deal. Ning, you seem to have made a huge decision. And he said, we'll set out for 1,000-leaf ridge tomorrow morning. Swish. Just as Ning Yu said that, palatial mistress Centauria stepped onto the ground and left the hall. Back in the palace, venerable spirit Void and Pil Guzi looked at each other. After a long while, Venerable Spirit Void said, Ningyu, are you really going to the Thousand-Leaf Empire? Yes. Ningyu's gaze was deep as he looked in the direction of the Thousand-Leaf Empire. He muttered, The tomb of a sky supreme must contain great opportunities. Let's go make some preparations. Venerable Spirit Void and Pale Goozy bid farewell to Ningyu and left the conference hall. There was only one day left, and Venerable Spirit Void and Pale Goozy didn't want to waste it. They left the conference hall and began to seriously make their preparations. After all, the journey to the Thousand-Leaf Empire was extremely dangerous. The more they prepared, the better their chances of survival. Swish! Just at this moment, a figure flew over from outside the conference hall. The figure landed in front of Ningyu and said, Ningyu, I want to leave the Grand Xia Kingdom. You want to leave the Grand Xia Kingdom? Hearing the words of that figure, Ningyu was slightly stunned before he said, Although you have a purple spiritual physique, your cultivation is only at grade 2 mortal sovereign. Furthermore, you've already been targeted by the Sacred Heaven sect of the Ice Domain. If you leave the Great Xia Kingdom, there's a high chance that you'll be ambushed. Lu Wei. The figure that suddenly appeared was none other than Lu Wei. In the past few days, Lu Wei hadn't appeared. No one knew where she went. But Ningyu knew that Lu Wei hadn't gone too far from the capital. She was cultivating in the dense forest outside the capital. It had to be said that the cultivation speed of a purple spirit body was indeed frighteningly fast. In just a few days, Lu Wei had already reached the peak of rank 2 human sovereign. She was only half a step away from advancing to rank 3 human sovereign. This kind of advancement speed was truly terrifying. I have to leave the Grand Xia Kingdom. In the past few days, a place has been appearing in my mind, Lu Wei said solemnly. She didn't want to hide it from Ningyu. After all, Ningyu had helped her a lot. Which place? Ningyu asked. Thousand-Leaf Ridge. Lu Wei said solemnly. You want to go to the Thousand-Leaf Empire? Ningyu's heart skipped a beat, but he didn't show it on his face. At the same time, Ningyu was very puzzled. The palace master of the 100 Flowers Palace said that the Thousand-Leaf Ridge was extremely suitable for the blood-stained land. And that place appeared in Lu Wei's mind again. Could it be that a purple spirit body lineage expert died in the Thousand-Leaf Ridge? Thinking of this, Ningyu couldn't remain calm. If a peerless purple spirit body lineage expert was really buried in the Thousand-Leaf Ridge, then this trip to the Thousand-Leaf Empire was destined to be extraordinary. He might even encounter endless dangers. If only a Sky Supreme expert had died in the Thousand-Leaf Ridge, it wouldn't have caused such a huge reaction. But peerless purple spirit body lineage experts were different. Everyone wanted to dig up their graves and find a way to obtain the bones of supremacy. The bones of supremacy were rare treasures. It was enough to cause all the major forces to fight over them. Yes, I want to go to the Thousand-Leaf Empire. Nodding, Lu Wei said, I can feel that there's something in the Thousand-Leaf Ridge of the Thousand-Leaf Empire calling out to me. It seems that a peerless purple spirit body lineage expert is really buried under the Thousand-Leaf Ridge. Taking a deep breath, Ningyu said, I happen to be going to the Thousand-Leaf Empire too. Why don't we go together? You want to go to the Thousand-Leaf Empire too? Lu Wei looked at Ningyu suspiciously. She didn't believe that Ningyu was really going to the Thousand-Leaf Empire. From Lu Wei's point of view, Ningyu was worried about her safety. Otherwise, he wouldn't go to a place like the Thousand-Leaf Empire. After all, the Thousand-Leaf Empire was hundreds of thousands of miles away from the Great Xia Kingdom. It would take a long time to travel there. Why would I lie to you? Ningyu was a little speechless. He was going to the Thousand-Leaf Empire anyway. There was no need to lie to Lu Wei. After explaining to Lu Wei for a long time, Ningyu almost brought up the 100 Flowers Palace mistress to convince Lu Wei. In the following day, Ningyu asked Lu Wei a few more things about the purple spirit body, such as the memories in her mind and her family. Perhaps afraid that Ningyu would be in danger, Lu Wei selectively told Ningyu some secrets. Swish! Chapter 1257. Chapter 1257. Fire Cloud Eagle Whoosh. The next morning, when the first ray of sunlight rose, the space outside the capital suddenly split open, and several figures appeared. Ning Yu was in the middle of the crowd, shining like stars around the moon. Beside him, Supremacy Spiritual Su, Dan Guzi, Palace Master Centauria, Sword of Evil, Jinin, Supremacy Talisman Marshal, Yunmu, and others stood side by side. Obviously, these people were going to the Qianya Empire with Ningyu. The reason why Ningyu made such a big scene was because he wanted to draw away the cultivators hiding in the surroundings, not letting them harm the Great Xia Kingdom. After all, the target of the corpse sect was him, not Mu Feng and the others. Are we still going or not? Seeing Ningyu bidding farewell to everyone, the Dark Emperor rolled his eyes impatiently. Dean Mu, if there are experts questioning you, just tell them the truth. Tell them that I'm going to the Qianya Empire. Ningyu warned Mu Feng, telling him not to make unnecessary sacrifices. This all right. Mu Feng wanted to refuse at first, but he could only give up when he thought of the strength of Supremacy, Spiritual Su, and the others. That's a 9th grade human supreme being. He's exceptionally powerful and exceedingly powerful. With Supremacy Spiritual Su in front of Ningyu, Mu Feng was still very assured. Let's go. Ningyu waved his hand and tore space apart, disappearing in an instant. Swish, swish, swish. Lu Wei, the Dark Emperor, Supremacy Spiritual Su, Dan Guzi, Palace Master Centauria, Jinin, Sword of Evil, Supremacy Talisman Marshal, and Yunmu didn't dare to be slow. They quickly tore space apart and followed Ningyu. They're destined to soar through the 9 heavens and roam the world. Mu Feng stared the direction Ningyu and the others disappeared in, speechless for a long time. In the end, he left behind these words and returned to the capital. Crack! Not long after Ningyu and the others disappeared, inside a palace in the headquarters of the corpse sect, an old man crushed the jade cup in his hand and said in a deep voice, "The target is the 1,000-leaf empire. Surround and kill them." At the top of the Blood God Palace, a middle-aged man paced back and forth in his room. Pa! Not long after, a message was transmitted into his mind. A cold glint shot out from the middle-aged man's eyes as a chilling voice rang out from his mouth. Kill! Emperor Divine Palace, an ancient and mysterious forbidden area. A young man dressed in green curled up the corner of his lips and said darkly, interesting. There's a path to heaven, but you don't want to take it. There's no door to hell, but you want to barge in. In a certain luxurious room in the Supreme 9 Purities Temple, an old man kept his eyes closed as he tapped his fingers on the table. Dong, dong, dong. Suddenly, the old man opened his eyes and said coldly, "You finally awakened? Hee hee, now this is interesting." Ningyu did not know about the reactions of the 4 great sects in the Sky Fiend region. After they left the Great Xia Kingdom, they headed straight for the 1,000-leaf empire. The 1,000-leaf empire was located in the Pill Formation continent, which was very far from the Mystic Moon continent. Even though Ningyu and the others were all supremes, they could not reach the 1,000-leaf empire in a short time. Along the way, Ningyu and the others stopped from time to time and rented a means of transportation in the Fire Cloud Nation. A Fire Cloud Eagle. The Fire Cloud Eagle was huge. When it spread its wings, it was more than 10 meters long. One Fire Cloud Eagle was enough to carry Ningyu and the others. Damn it, I didn't know that the Great Xia Kingdom is such a small place. It doesn't even have an ancient beast, like the Fire Cloud Eagle. On the Fire Cloud Eagle's back, the Dark Emperor could not help but grumble. Everyone looked at the Dark Emperor with disdain and distanced themselves from him. Among everyone present, only the Dark Emperor was a frog at the bottom of a well. Whether it was ninth-grade human supremes like Venerable Spirit, Su, and Danguzi, or low-grade human supremes like Yunmu and Venerable Talisman Marshal, they all knew that the continent was very big. If it wasn't for various reasons, they definitely would not have appeared in the Great Xia Kingdom and become acquainted with Ningyu and the Dark Emperor. The Fire Cloud Nation is 300,000 kilometers away from the Thousand Leaf Empire. With the Fire Cloud Eagle speed, we will reach the Thousand Leaf Empire in 3 days at most. The Palace Master said from the back of the Fire Cloud Eagle. Once we reach the Thousand Leaf Empire, we will immediately go to the Thousand Leaf Ridge. Because they did not have a flying beast like the Fire Cloud Eagle, they spent a full 5 days from the Great Xia Kingdom to the Fire Cloud Nation. Even if they rented a Fire Cloud Eagle in the Fire Cloud Nation, they would still need 3 days to reach the Thousand Leaf Empire. The Palace Master knew very well that she only had 15 days. She had wasted a day in the Great Xia Kingdom, which meant that she had wasted 5 days on the way to the Fire Cloud Nation. If she wasted another 3 days on the back of the Fire Cloud Eagle, she would only have 6 days left. In 6 days, she not only had to find the demon Echo Grass, but she also had to refine the Soul Attraction Pill and cultivate the Soul Attraction Art. Palatial Lord Centauria did not wish to waste even a second. Let's talk when we get there. Ningyu had an emotionless expression as he said, "Tell me about the Thousand Leaf Ridge's situation first." Ning, you didn't want to enter the Thousand Leaf Ridge foolishly. After all, he knew nothing about the Thousand Leaf Ridge. Under such circumstances, who would want to take the risk? Putting aside the fact that the Palace Master promised him 3 items, even if she gave him 10 or 100 items, he would have to consider it carefully. The Thousand Leaf Ridge is an ominous place. The Palace Master might be anxious, but she still explained, in the Thousand Leaf Empire, there are a total of 3 ominous places. The Thousand Leaf Ridge, the Devil Cliff Mountain, and the Rakshasa Cave. Each of these 3 places is more dangerous than the other. 20 years ago, there were Earth Supremes who ventured deep into the 3 ominous places. Without exception, none of them came out. After so many years, there were countless people who ventured into the 3 ominous places, but no one dared to step into the deepest part of the 3 ominous places. They only dared to move around the periphery. Hearing the Palace Master's explanation, the Dark Emperor nearly fell from the back of the Fire Cloud Hawk. The Dark Emperor furiously glared at the Palace Master and said, "Since the Thousand Leaf Ridge is so dangerous, why do you want us to go there? Even Earth Supremes can't come out. So what's the difference between us and cannon fodder? You can't put it that way. As the saying goes, there are great opportunities in the ominous places. We might be able to obtain great opportunities in the Thousand Leaf Ridge." The Palace Master shook her head. "Great opportunities, my ass. We'll wait for you outside when you go to the Thousand Leaf Ridge." The Dark Emperor was a cunning person, and the Palace Master didn't seem like a good person to him. It was a place that even Earth Supremes would die in, so they probably couldn't even be cannon fodder. "Stop arguing. We'll talk about it when we reach the Thousand Leaf Empire." Ningyu first glared at the Dark Emperor before coldly saying, "At that time, I will make my decision based on the situation, and I will not joke around with my life." The first sentence was directed at the Dark Emperor, while the second sentence was directed at the Palace Master of the 100 Flowers Palace. Ning, you had a feeling that the Palace Master didn't tell him the truth about the Thousand Leaf Ridge. However, they were very far away from the Thousand Leaf Ridge, so it wasn't good for Ningyu to flare up, so he could only endure it. Everything could wait until they reached the Thousand Leaf Empire. If you want to scheme against me, then I'll let you know what it means to scheme. Chapter 1258 Transverse Valley. From Fire Cloud Nation to Thousand Leaf Empire, There was a path that one had to pass, and that was Transverse Valley. Transverse Valley was a huge canyon about 200,000 miles away from Fire Cloud Nation and 100,000 miles away from Thousand Leaf Empire. As long as one could pass through Transverse Valley, there would be a vast expanse ahead. Transverse Valley's entrance was relatively wide and could accommodate dozens of people at the same time. However, the exit was extremely narrow and could only accommodate one person at a time. One man could hold the pass against 10,000. Screech! In the sky above the canyon, a huge bird circled, screeched a few times, and then swooped down. In front of Transverse Valley, the Fire Cloud Eagle put down Ningyu and the others, then flapped its huge wings and flew towards Fire Cloud Nation. Damn it, mixed-haired bird, where are you going? Seeing the Fire Cloud Eagle fly away, the Dark Emperor roared. The Fire Cloud Eagle was their means of transportation in Fire Cloud Nation. In order to rent the Fire Cloud Eagle, they paid a huge price. According to the original agreement, the Fire Cloud Eagle was to send them to Thousand Leaf Empire. Who would have thought that halfway the Fire Cloud Eagle would leave them behind and escape? You better not let me see you again, or else I'll roast you and eat you. The Dark Emperor said angrily, All right, Transverse Valley is very narrow, and the depths can only accommodate one person at a time. The Fire Cloud Eagle's huge body can't pass through Transverse Valley. Ningyu waved his hand and said, Everyone rest here for a while and enter after recovering to peak condition. I think you're making a mountain out of a molehill. I have some understanding of the Hengduan Valley. It's just that the terrain here is dangerous. It's not dangerous at all for high-leveled sovereigns like us, said the palatial mistress solemnly. Palace Master Centauria was very anxious. She wanted to rush to Thousand Leaf Empire and think of a way to enter Thousand Leaf Ridge. There was less and less time left for her, and if she didn't hurry, it would be too late. If you want to go, you go first. We need to rest anyway. Before Ningyu said anything, the Dark Emperor rolled his eyes and found a flat place to sit down. Palace Master Centauria, I know you're very anxious, but I have to remind you that Transverse Valley isn't that simple, Ningyu said. For some reason, after arriving at this place, Ningyu felt a little uneasy. It seemed that there was something terrifying in the Transverse Canyon. Shaking his head and trying his best to dispel this thought, Ningyu sat down beside the Dark Emperor and closed his eyes to rest. Their side wasn't weak. Even if they encountered a late-stage 9th-grade human supreme, they would be able to contend against it and even kill it. Damn it! Since you're all afraid, I'll go ahead and scout the path. Cursing inwardly, the palace mistress of the 100 Flowers Palace tapped the ground with her toes and instantly entered the Transverse Canyon, quickly disappearing. Ningyu's face turned a little ugly as he watched the palatial mistress disappear. Ningyu wanted to rest for a period of time, but since the palatial mistress had charged in, there was no need for Ningyu to stay any longer. He had to follow her. Palatial Palace Master Centauria's death wasn't a problem, but nothing could happen to Xiaolon. This was because this body belonged to Xiaolon. It was only temporarily controlled by Palatial Lord Centauria. After all, Xiaolon had helped him before. He didn't want to owe her a favor. Whoosh! 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 In the blink of an eye, Ningyu and the Dark Emperor entered the Transverse Canyon. Palatial Mistress? After traveling through the Transverse Canyon for about 10 minutes, Ningyu and the others saw a familiar figure floating in the air not far away. Venerable Talisman Marshal and Yunmu were a little puzzled as they muttered. Did the palace mistress discover something? Why is she hovering in the sky? As they spoke, Venerable Talisman Marshal and Yunmu moved their feet. Hold it! Just when Venerable Talisman Marshal and the rest took 2 steps forward, Ningyu grabbed onto them and solemnly said, "The situation is urgent. You guys leave the Transverse Canyon first. Lu Wei, you leave with Venerable Talisman Marshal and the rest." Thereafter, Ningyu turned to Lu Wei and said, "Wait for us to deal with the trouble before you guys enter." Deal with the trouble? Haha, do you guys have that ability? Before Ningyu finished speaking, a faint voice resounded from the sky. Sizzle! Sizzle! Suddenly, space ruptured, and several figures dashed out of the void, surrounding Ningyu and the others in the middle. Ningyu's face instantly turned dark. He had guessed that he would be ambushed, but he never expected so many people to ambush him. There were roughly 40 to 50 cultivators in the surroundings. Among them, there were 20 6th-grade sovereigns, 10 7th-grade sovereigns, 5 8th-grade sovereigns for initial phase 9th-grade sovereigns, 2 middle phase 9th-grade sovereigns, and 1 late phase 9th-grade sovereign. This formation was enough to destroy the heavens and earth and sweep through many large sections. Why are you hiding? Come out. Taking a step forth, Ningyu unleashed his aura. His gaze pierced through the crowd and fell onto a gray-clothed elder. Ningyu's senses weren't weak, so he could naturally tell that the one who spoke was the gray-clothed elder. The gray-clothed elder's cultivation had reached the terrifying late phase 9th-grade sovereign realm. Furthermore, he was a pinnacle late phase 9th-grade sovereign realm. He was only half a step away from the pinnacle 9th-grade sovereign realm. Hee, heroes indeed come from the young, but it's a pity that you're destined to die today. The gray-clothed elder smiled and walked out of the crowd. First, let me introduce myself. I'm Shi Shao from the Corpse Insect. Shi Shao looked at Ningyu as if she was looking at a dead man and said, This time, Shi Shao was ordered to intercept Ningyu. Failure was not an option. In order to complete the mission 100%, Shi Shao even borrowed a supreme grade royal flying sword from the Corpse Insect's treasure vault. Sirius Sword. Sirius Sword was a supreme grade royal flying sword. In the hands of a late phase 9th grade sovereign corpse puppet, it could exert great power. With a flick of her wrist, the Sirius Sword appeared in her hand. Holding the Sirius Sword, Shi Shao looked like she could defend against 10,000 enemies by herself. Corpse Insect! Hearing Shi Shao's words, not only was Ningyu furious, but even the Dark Emperor roared, We didn't go looking for you, but you came looking for us instead. This black dog of yours is quite plump. It just so happens that we're on a long journey. Wouldn't it be nice to have a black dog dinner tonight? Shi Shao said with a smile. Shi Shao, you've crossed the line. At this moment, the palace master of the 100 Flowers Palace spoke. The palace master of the Flower Palace turned around and instantly appeared by Ningyu's side. She said in a low voice, We're only 50,000 kilometers away from the Thousand Leaf Empire, and the Thousand Leaf Empire is controlled by the Flower Palace and Divine Emperor Palace. Aren't you afraid of being punished by the Flower Palace and Divine Emperor Palace for ambushing us here? I'm so scared. Shi Shao pretended to be afraid. Then she changed the topic and said coldly, To tell you the truth, ever since the Transverse Canyon, the Blood God Palace, the Emperor Palace, and even the Nine Purities Palace have set up checkpoints. Everyone's goal is clear, and that's to kill you. You're tuning in to the Thunder Spear YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.